And once again, we're back here in the new year, January something. I don't know, 3rd?
Third.
It's been a few days.
Yeah, it's January 3rd, 2014. The day after Community came back. That's
Did it come
how
back?
this will be known in history. Yeah, Dan Harmon's Community Season 5 is a show now.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we watched an episode of it. There
Was
are
it
two. It was okay. It was pretty funny. I didn't watch the rest of Season 4 at some point. We stopped just before the puppet episode because that looked awful. So,
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe it was fine. I don't know. There were apologists on the internet saying the latter bit of Season 4 actually started to figure it out. But I don't know. Yeah, we watched one of those, and yeah, I don't know, it was okay. That dude was in it. What's his name? That man from Hot Tub Time Machine, Rob Corddry.
Oh, okay. For
Yeah.
some reason, I was thinking Craig Robinson or whatever.
He's also in Hot Tub Time
In like
Machine.
everything. Yeah.
But yes, no, he was not in this particular episode of that show. But I don't know. There was like a Chevy Chase hologram and stuff for some reason.
For whatever reason. Why not?
Yeah, I guess he's going to be in an even more diminished role on that show. But
So he just comes in the form of hologram now then.
yeah, it's like we brought a camera to his house and a green screen, and he said, "Fine, I guess."
Wow.
You get one take though, and then they just kind of, I don't know.
What an asshole.
Yeah, probably. But hey,
It
it's
sounds like he is.
and I think Starburns might be back too because Dino was listed as a producer again. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought he died.
That show could work out. No, he like fake died. You clearly didn't keep watching.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Like you didn't see the finale of season 3?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember. That was a while.
All right. It was a
That was
while
many
ago.
years ago. We were different people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new year. We are
Before
new.
2013 changed us forever.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And then just as a last fuck you from 2013, the last day of it, Uncle
Yep.
Phil died.
Uncle Phil died. Just
Like, why
before-
not, right?
Yeah, just to rub it in a little bit. Just be like, hey, fuck you guys. See you later. I
Yep.
honestly didn't watch a lot of that show, so I was just like, what? Who? But
See, I
it's-
watched a lot of that film. Or the film, not film, that show. Like
it's
every
a
day.
giant film. It's like hundreds of hours of
That's
film.
pretty much what a TV show is. It's just
Yeah.
like a film that happens every day for years.
They just kind of live in your house, and they become your friends. And yeah, it's a sad thing, but
So
That's
pour
what
one out for Uncle Phil.
mm-hmm. It also
I don't
snowed
have
that
the-
night. It was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Did you do anything for New Year's? Did you stay up?
I worked.
Okay. Were you up past midnight? Did you go, oh, hey, it's a different thing on the calendar now?
Well, I'm
Whoa.
always up past midnight because I don't sleep very well. So,
Yeah.
yes,
That's,
I was
yeah.
up past
Like the
midnight.
novelty of waking up past, like staying up past midnight disappeared when I was like 13 or something. It was just like, yeah, whatever. That's like every other day. But,
When you regularly go to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning, midnight is basically like lunchtime.
yeah.
It's nothing
It's
special.
not even a thing. But I don't know. I turned on Animal Crossing to see the countdown, and had a hat. We played board games, Star Trek Catan amongst them.
Yeah, how was that? How was going over there?
Oh, it was pretty good. We played a couple kind of more group games like Werewolf, which I haven't played really. I think I played Mafia once in like a youth group situation like a decade ago. But this was ideally we would have had more people. That would have made it even better, but it was okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just didn't want to leave like right after midnight only to drive for like an hour and a half or 2 hours to get home in the snow and then go to bed and wake up for work. I just wanted to...
Yeah. No, that's fine. We had some people leave early and stuff too, but they were at least there for the
countdown. Yeah.
We're saying I have cuts. I have this one little scab thing, but That's
Do you like to pick scabs? Because that's probably my favorite thing ever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So
Live
on video. It's just a bad habit probably, but
have you been cutting again? What's wrong?
No, I haven't.
Bad day at work?
I've never been doing that. I didn't have work today. I was just kind of hanging out, getting my Netflix on, playing a couple video games, doing some cleaning a little bit, and some important phone calls. That was the main thing I did today. It was like phoning businesses and being like, "Hey, I want to change this service," or "Hey, stop charging me for this," stuff like that.
Yeah, grown-up stuff.
Or phoning a hotel that I stayed at like 2.5 months ago and saying, "Hey, did you find my shirt?" And then they said no. So, important stuff.
Yeah.
TCB. That's what they
adult business shit is what we call it.
I hate phoning. It's like I was just on hold for like probably half an hour today. It was just wasted time. Just disappeared.
Yeah.
I at least could turn it on speaker and then load Max Payne 3 and like make sure the settings were all right and stuff. But I didn't want to like start shooting and junk before.
You know what the best customer service phone call I've ever had with was who was that? It was with? It was with Blizzard.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because there was there was a problem with my Warcraft account or whatever, and like they were like, "You need to call us because your account has been seriously compromised," and blah blah blah. So I called them. They answered my problem right away. They got me set up instantly, and they were super nice about it. Like, it was the weirdest thing, because that never happens. Usually when you call people, they're like, "Yeah, how can I help you?" sort of thing. But no, these people sounded like they loved their job, and that was weird, because Blizzard Activision is kind of a company you would think would treat their employees like shit, especially the call center people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, they were really, really good. I don't think I've ever had customer service that good before. But then again, I'm not a person who complains a lot, so I don't talk to customer service reps a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that positive perception was enough to get Hearthstone at number 1 this year. So
yeah, that alone. It had nothing to do with like how eloquently they can design a game or how they can polish something to the point of
it's
just
all
being
branding
a great product.
It's
all just it's people. It's the people
it's like
behind
Blizzard impressed me the most. So, and you're just like, was the game good? I don't even know. They were just really nice to me.
I don't know. I haven't even played it, so
they made me feel again. Like it was one of those. Just fucking it's okay.
That game's really good. It's gotten a lot harder.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I think there's an influx of new people, but these people have been wanting to get into beta for so long that they've been like watching videos from pros and like doing like the basic homework by themselves and stuff. So now when I go in there, they just like have a great deck somehow. And it seems like everybody knows what they're doing really well. Hungry. So it's just like, yeah, every battle now is like an affair. Like, I'm gonna have to sit down and actually think. I don't even just click around anymore. I have to actually do math in my head now, which is okay.
Like that challenge too? Okay.
I like that challenge because that's what I like about Dota. But like, goddamn,
those hungry young fighters trying to get to the top. It's like
they're hungry, man. Yeah, and they're all the underdogs. I'm Apollo, and I got the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah, you're kind of being all cocky. You're just like, whatever, I'm the champ. And it's just like, I don't know. He's been training a lot. Like, every morning I see him running up these steps, and you're just like, nah, I got this.
Every morning I see him cracking eggs into a glass and drinking it.
I don't know why you'd see that, because that means you're in his house, but okay. I gotcha. See, because in the movie, we are in his house, thanks to the magic of camera placement.
Yeah, it's a good medium for that reason.
Right there on Sylvester Stallone's countertop. Checking out his blender or whatever.
When he was young, no less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's in a new boxing movie, like, right now, but I've heard it's not very good.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it. With De Niro?
Yeah, so it's Raging Bull guy and Rocky guy fighting, which only matters to old people, probably, but,
Yeah.
It didn't seem, I don't know.
No, it doesn't seem like it's something I care about at all. Like, why would I care about that? But
I mean, if you liked Rocky a lot, which I did, but because I like Rocky a lot, I don't want them to like actively make fun of it or something. It just seems like a weird thing. Like he
Sure.
didn't direct it. Like I don't know. I'm not
Sure.
sure about that. But okay. Movies. You know,
You
like,
watched some.
we're talking about them. I watched some, but these were like slightly older ones because they were available on the internet for streaming. So
Netflix or otherwise?
Netflix. That was
Okay.
that was the way. First one was called Addicted to Fame,
Okay.
which is a documentary about the behind the scenes drama of Illegal Aliens, which was Anna Nicole Smith's last movie.
Yeah. The one
Yeah.
I always wanted to watch.
Yes, I've never actually seen the movie, but I have seen a movie about the movie. So I don't know. Okay. Full 100% transparency. The only reason I watched this movie is because I knew Ben Coelho, who did the art for Giant Bomb and is a good friend of Rich Gallup and has appeared in dumb videos with that guy, is in the movie. He was the screenwriter of Illegal Aliens. So he pops up a couple times as like a talking head interview guy. And yeah, that was like the hook. That was the thing. It's like, oh shit, I need to watch this movie. They talked about it on the Bombcast a couple times, and I was just like, fine, I will watch this. And what I got was actually like interesting look, I thought, at like it's all from this director's point of view. His name is David Giancarlo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like a B movie director, not necessarily because he wants to be, just because that's kind of what happened. Like he was making his own little movies, and then he kind of got typecast as just, you make this tier of stuff. And he's like, sure, whatever. So he makes kind of dumb, dopey little movies, like a movie called Icebreaker I'd never heard of, with Sean Astin and Bruce Campbell.
Rudy.
Yeah, but like Sean Astin just before Lord of the Rings, and he's like got a machine gun. And it looked kind of like a Cliffhanger like clone or something. It was weird. I had never heard of it. But whatever. Yeah. So like that's the guy, and it's just kind of like neat to see this dude who's like working on a movie, and like there's all this media attention and stuff around his movie, but it's not because of what he's doing or whatever. It's because Anna Nicole Smith is there, and she just brings drama with her, especially at that time. Like that was just before the big lawsuit and stuff happened. Like that was just a weird, like, it was kind of weird. Like thinking back, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of like barely noticed this story, you know, like just kind of noticing headlines here and there from like entertainment, like just sidebars or something on newspapers about this story unfolding about like her son died, and then like 5 months later she died. And she was meanwhile embroiled in this big lawsuit, whether or not she had entitlement to this money because she married this like 90-year-old dude.
It was
like,
a weird time for her, for sure.
Yeah, super weird. And then like here's just like a bunch of footage, like just interviewing her about this goofy movie they're making. It was basically like a Charlie's Angels, like a sort of a parody, but it's also just kind of meant to be very meta commentary on B movies and how crappy they are. But like it's supposed to be kind of wink nudge, except some of the actors and stuff, well, specifically Anna Nicole, kind of couldn't pull off some of those scenes, like some of the stuff. Like there's a lot of insight into this movie I've never seen, but it was also kind of neat to just see like someone who isn't in the spotlight, kind of a little envious of that spotlight, even though it's this like crazy media circus. I don't know. Like I actually kind of sympathize with that dude a lot. I was reading like the Netflix reviews, and a lot of people are just mad at this dude. They're just like, you're part of the same problem you're criticizing. Like, you're addicted to fame. That's why you hoard out this footage that you had. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird why they have all of this footage. It was like China is in the movie, the wrestler.
Yeah, no, I know who you meant. Yeah. I don't know why I know who you meant, but
yeah. And
she had a Playboy.
Yeah, and she's like done some pornography now. Apparently they are not insurable, so it was just like a means of keeping track of everything going on, like just being like, if someone flips out or something, or if there's some serious problems, I want to have it on film. So he kind of just had two dudes on set recording a bunch of dumb stuff all the time. So like now we're at this point where it's like that movie kind of bombed because everybody, like the kind of headliner person in it died, and everyone was kind of too bummed out about it to see this goofy movie. Yeah. It got pirated a fair amount apparently, but
I'll pirate it probably.
Yeah, that's too bad, I guess. But that
Well, it's on
train has
Netflix, you said.
no. Oh, this movie is on Netflix. I don't know if Illegal Aliens is.
Oh, the
But it
actual
should
movie.
be.
Okay.
It should be that, yeah. But I don't know. I was actually kind of reasonably caught up in it. It's like 90 minutes long. I was just kind of, sitting there, hanging out, watching that. Then I watched Lovelace, which is the Amanda Seyfried movie about the porn star, which now makes it the second movie I've seen about Deep Throat, having never seen Deep Throat. Because I watched that documentary about it that Dennis Hopper narrated, which I thought was called Inside Deep Throat, but I couldn't find it on IMDb for some reason. But that was also on Netflix like some time ago. Just like kind of this like just wanting to see this world where it's like, no, dude, like in the 70s, porn was like huge. Like theaters, people were joking about it on TV, like $600 million gross somehow. Like it's just like totally nuts how different that is from now, where it's just like it is most of the internet, to be fair, except like no one's really, it's not surface level talking about it. Like the Tonight Show hosts or whatever don't joke about this porn star and her latest video. Like that just doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Do they? Like, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of late night TV.
I was just going to say how porn like dictates what the new technology will be too.
Oh no, it's like a powerful social.
It's a thing.
But yeah, I was just kind of curious about it. I like Boogie Nights and stuff too. It's like, hey, the same era and whatever.
And porn. Just
and
straight
porn,
up.
Yeah, porn is kind of great. Just want to get some more insight into it. Oh, like Hank Azaria was just on the screen. He plays a pretty good. He's the director of the film. He does some kind of good stuff. I like seeing that dude in movies. When he pops up, I'm like, oh, hey, it's Hank Azaria, because he's a voice a lot of the time.
I like that guy.
Yeah, that guy seems great. He was here. Peter Sarsgaard plays a total scumbag. He's Chuck Trainer, the kind of dude she married, who kind of got her into this weird porn underworld and also was like apparently really abusive. Although that's maybe my thing with this movie is like, the way it went in like the public vision or whatever, like she was in this really popular porn, was kind of doing a lot of interviews and stuff, got a little bit of spotlight and whatever. And then like 10 years later, her story completely changed. And it was like, no, dude, I was like bullied into doing that. Like, I didn't want to do any of that at all. And like, she started like campaigning against pornography and all this. And it was just like, oh, weird. I thought you were totally down with this. Like, what with all the TV appearances and whatever. And magazines.
She's still alive, right? The actual lady?
No, they like her and Chuck Trainer both passed away in 2002.
Okay, because I remember watching something about it, and she was like a born again Christian or something, right?
I'm trying to remember when Inside Deep Throat came out. It's possible for that movie they might have interviewed her. But I think she's also, there was a movie made in Canada in like the 80s that was about how destructive pornography was, and she might have played a role in that too. Like she might have like been something. I can't remember.
I think I'm thinking of someone else. There's somebody else that's still alive that has outwardly been like, yeah, I was in like a bunch of porn, but I'm a born again Christian and it's the devil's work and all those people are going to burn in hell, so I'm going to save your soul. Like what?
Betty Page had like a big change.
Not her.
Okay.
No, it was somebody else. It's somebody like a no-name porn actress. I hadn't even heard of her. That's how no-name she is, if you know what I mean. Watching porn.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we're secretly experts.
I was saying the other day how out of all the like weird things that have spawned from our little community that we've knitted together here, I think one of my favorite things is this weird idea that you're a sex fiend, because you totally aren't.
Well, I'm wearing this robe right now, so it's a little sketchy. It's kind of some Hugh Hefner business right here. But
it's such a weird perpetuated thing, though.
Like just from like that one discussion about that like law in Europe or something, wasn't it? Was there like a proposed
so. That wasn't
ban?
even. Was that even an our thing? I think that was our Spaghetti Cast crossover.
That was the crossover episode, and that I think at least put that into hyperdrive, that perception. Whatever. That's fine. Like the internet's got a lot of stuff on it. What are you gonna do?
Sometimes you just fall into some parts you didn't want to be in, but you're not too keen on leaving right away, we'll say.
Sure. I guess so. Anyway,
Reddit.com/r/rule34.
Oh, the Reddit subreddit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, like just update on that situation since we brought it up. Rule 34 comics is the new hotness. So
Is it really?
If you want to see
Okay.
some dirty crap about pop culture stuff you love and sex happening, that's where like the premier content from Rule 34 has gone. So if you're like, man, this subreddit's really flagging, that's why.
I have a link actually that I found from, I think, Reddit, and it's just like this dude used Source Filmmaker or whatever to just do a whole bunch of GIF files of like Mass Effect and like Resident Evil people just like fucking each other, and it's one of the best things I've ever visited. It's hilarious.
Source Filmmaker. Oh, it's like a Tumblr or something, or
no, it's like a weird like no, it's a site like, but the site is it's kind of like one of those old school like, this isn't an internet site where it's just like a landing page with a bunch of pictures. There's like nothing on it that would be like, this is like user friendly.
Just GIFs there. That's all the site is.
Just like pictures, and there's like a search function, and like you can click on like random, or you could see like what's new, but that's it. Like there is no title page. There's nothing like that. It's just like, no, we know why you're here. Here's a bunch of weird characters fucking each other.
There you go. That's what the rule's for. That's what it does. Anyway, what I was trying to get to about that movie is like kind of like the way her story takes a hard shift and changes completely. The tone of the movie goes from like kind of just like, hey, we're kind of chronicling this thing that happened. It's kind of light and fun, whatever. Then it gets like super dramatic. Like it's just like, but really what really happened was super bad, terrible, and there was abuse and it was depressing. And then like the music just turns into the most generic, like just full of violins and stuff, like violins and pianos. Like it's just like emotions are in the air now. We need you to feel them with this music. And I was just like, this is just a bad thing now. Like it was just
like a bad time.
Yeah, like, and it's not like I expected the underworld of the 70s to be a good time. It was just kind of like, this is no longer even like interesting to watch. Like I'm just kind of like getting pushed away now. And it's kind of,
there's just like too much of
heavy-handed, like a lot of
going on.
Really heavy. It's kind of like almost that of just like her parents feeling weird and guilty about it, like her divulging all this kind of like dirty laundry that wasn't in the public eye or whatever. Like it's just kind of like, I don't know. It kind of loses something partway through. But I mean, the actors, like they both do a good job and everything. It's just the movie itself just I kind of started losing interest in it. It's only like 90 minutes long. But I was like checking the time quite a bit past the halfway point. Like it's just like, all right, what are we at? All right, there's like 30 minutes left. Whatever.
You know, a movie or a film or whatever you want to call it is really bad when you check to see how much time's left in it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, all right. I guess I can sit
Actually,
this out.
same with YouTube videos. I found where it's like, I'm getting kind of bored of this. There's another 30 minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the next one. That's okay.
That happened to me earlier today with like a 5-minute video. It was like a music video from Japan or something. I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, it's like hard rock or something. All right, how much time? Oh, there's like 3.5 minutes. Yeah, fuck it. That exact thing. I was just like, I don't have 3.5 more minutes for this. I don't know. I just don't. So,
speaking of YouTube, we're back. Game Dudes.
We are. The Game Dudes are back. 2014 kicks off with some of our best Silent Hill content.
Did you listen or like did you watch any of the videos that were uploaded yet?
Yeah, I was kind of like curious like how my microphone is performing, so I listened to
really well.
Okay, like I thought the old one wasn't that bad. Like I listened to like I was like, okay, let's go back to like before. So I watched. Man, I basically have to apologize for the piano episodes because Jesus, I didn't know how long we were stuck there. I was like, are you?
It was a full episode.
It was like an entire 16-minute episode. It was just like on this piano screen, totally failing at solving this thing. And then, I embarrassed, but whatever. So I listened to that, and then I watched, I think the most recent one. Oh, and I also saw one where apparently you weren't there for like the first 5 minutes. So I'm just like singing to myself. And I forgot I did that.
When I was cutting that one, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah. I was just like, no one's
And then
here,
I come
so I
back
gotta
and you're
fill
like,
this air.
oh, Paul's back.
Yeah. So I forgot that happened, but there it is. It's there for you to watch if you want to. It is kind of weird seeing that video. It's like, all right, let's crank this up 1080p, and it's like the shittiest textures and everything. Just like
can you see what I was talking about with like the weird cross hatching now?
Kind of a little bit.
At 1080p, you can see like it looks almost like somebody's like crochet pad or whatever with like the little squares in it, because that's like it just can't handle the crappy textures. So
yeah, so just kind of. Well, I thought it looked like that on your TV, kind of like it has this kind of.
Yeah, no, it looks exactly in the video in 1080p like it did on on the TV. Yeah,
and that's just not true. Of like if you had that on SD, it would just look kind of weird. But now it's like, no, you were crisply seeing that there's a weird filter on this game or something.
It's making me wonder why I'm exporting them as full 1080p 60 frame per second. I mean, totally get away with it.
Kind of nice because like you do see that weird variation we talked about a couple times, where it's like if you're in a small room, it's like really smooth, but then you go into a bigger area and it's like 25 frames or something. Like it's just like very variable. But I think the thing that was like kind of striking me about that game was just like, wow, like the tone of it is so different because there's two of us joking around. Like the actual thing on the screen sometimes is like, that's a creepy ass hallway. But there's two.
Then we're talking about like Wolf of Wall Street or Royals.
Yeah, like we're just bullshitting. So it doesn't like the tone of the game is kind of being dismissed or whatever. Like that game seemed like it could have had some good scares in it. Like I mean, there's a couple times where it still manages to push through, which is like, what was that loud sound? What's going on? But yeah, but I don't know. Thanks for anybody watching those. We enjoyed doing that. I think we were gonna do some more stuff of that nature, maybe
for sure.
Some more with some things. Don't want to promise anything yet, but like specific.
We're gonna do shorter ones, I think, too, so you don't have to go through a 50 episode.
Right, and like way longer ones too, probably. You know, like just giant JRPGs or something. Like just.
I'd be kind of okay with that if we could get together regularly to do it. That's the only.
Yeah, I sure, but we'll see. Who knows what the future holds for Game Dudes? But yeah, thanks for tuning into those, and there'll be a bunch more over the next couple weeks, right? So
oh yeah, I already have 5 more cut up, like today. So I'm getting through them. By the way, 5 more doesn't even like just for you and me. It doesn't even come close to the first audio file you sent me. So like we have a lot coming up still. But yeah, I don't know. The one I cut just today was the one with like the weird poetry or whatever about the tablets and the door.
Oh, okay. Like the turtle and the
turtle, the cat, and the queen, and
okay,
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some good stuff in there. I don't know. We run into some weird stuff, but I guess stay tuned for that revelation.
I can't wait till we get to the carnival. Oh my god.
Fun times.
I'm wondering if I should fast forward through the first bit of it so people don't have to watch like 30 minutes of the same thing.
I don't know. Like, because the frustration builds at times in ways that might be good. I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave that up to your discretion, I guess, but we shouldn't really get too into it or people will know what to expect.
Yeah, no. And thank you for everybody watching it. I know there's a few in the chat right now that have been commenting and watching and all that, so like, comment, rate, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if you do that, just watch the damn things. They're there for you, they're not there for us. We already had our fun with it. Now it's your turn. But anyway, so that's back.
Yeah. Internet is going to improve for me over here. Apparently, that was one of the take care of business things. So, who knows what that might mean for?
It means streaming.
Yeah, probably means streaming. Probably Cook Serve Delicious because that's one of the greatest games.
Well, what I was thinking is that you could stream you doing Spelunky, the daily challenge or whatever, and I could stream me doing the same daily challenge, and then we could send out the multi-Twitch link so people could see us race it. And by race, I mean just like see us do it.
Kind of compete or whatever. I guess. I think a lot of people are doing that now, but I guess we could be part of that scene. And just be like, hey, we're Spelunky enthusiasts too. Although, honestly, like I keep trying to bring it up, but like in light of how just, crisp and well presented Cook Serve Delicious is, like, I don't know. Derek, you might need to kind of take a look at somebody else's game.
Sure.
Just being dismissive. There's no jetpacks in Cook Serve Delicious, so it avoids that problem entirely. It just sidesteps it. And instead there's
delicious food.
Yeah, there's delicious food. And you unlock more and more recipes as the game goes on. Like, I was kind of presented with a choice today, like, do I want to have wine in my restaurant or lobsters? And I went with wine, and I kind of regret my decision because you just have to, like, mash on the up key to pop the cork. And if you get presented with, like, 4 bottles of wine at the same time, that is just, like, super stressful. It's just like, oh my god, oh! And, and then people are ordering lasagnas and stuff, and they want vegetables and meat in it. It's crazy.
Bunch of assholes, man.
I know. I mean,
when you order lasagna, you're getting it the way I'm serving it to you. That's it.
Well, I'm serving it the way they'll pay, because I'm a restaurant owner. So
whichever way makes me money.
Yeah, like I'm like, all right, I'll put vegetables in there too. Like that one actually, once you get the kind of just the sequence down, it's actually really easy to hammer out a bunch of lasagnas. But pancakes burn really fast, so that's a problem.
Just like real life. Probably eggs too.
There's like egg sandwiches and stuff that you can invest in. I haven't unlocked them. Like I just kind of haven't been doing that. I got coffee recently.
Did you unlock the Ryan Davis?
The Ryan Davis is a burger, so I did get that. I never had corn dogs in my restaurant, and that gets locked out of your restaurant at some point because it's just like, well, you're too classy a restaurant now to just have corn dogs, so you're not allowed to have this anymore. But there was a catering event that had corn dogs, and apparently there was a corn dog called the Gerstmann, and it has mustard on it. Yeah, so there's a couple jokes.
Just mustard?
Just mustard.
That seems like something Gerstmann would eat.
Maybe.
Just a corn dog with mustard. That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like one for fancy toppings, so.
Yeah, the Ryan Davis is double cheese and a tomato. That's what makes the Ryan Davis distinct, I guess. And it's like, yeah, all right, that's cool. Like, yeah, honestly, I heard about that game because of that dude, so it's kind of cool that they gave a little tip of the hat to him in that game.
Oh, I'm sure thousands of people heard about that game because of that. Oh, no,
I know. Like, his blog, like, I was kind of checking out because I was like, man, this is a really impressive game. Like, what else is this guy about? And dude's been making games for, like, a dozen years. This is kind of the one that's done decent. And, yeah, he totally credits Ryan Davis as being, like, the reason for that. He has a little post about him. And, it's kind of neat to see. But, yeah, it's just a great game, too. Like, I just really enjoy playing it. Like, it makes use of the keyboard in ways a lot of games don't. Like, it's part typing game, but also, like, Tapper-esque stuff, and it's just fast-paced in a way. When you're doing good, you feel like you're doing good. It's just like, man, I got a huge combo. Like, I just totally whipped through those lasagnas. That was awesome. It was just like cling, 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 cling. There's just good audio feedback and all that stuff. It's great. It's like an arcade. It's so good. So
cool. If they came up to you and said, we want to put this new thing in called the Krasnor, what food item would it be, and how would you make it?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, it would probably be something really ghetto, like crackers with cheese and like tomato sauce on them. So it'd be like a 1-star menu item. It's like a upgrade for nachos. Like, it's a variant, but it's like kind of shitty. Like, past 1 star, no one orders it. But
I have an idea.
That's kind of my thing.
For the community listening right now, if someone was to make and cook serve delicious the Krasnor, what food item do you think it would be, and what toppings would it be? You can say it in the chat right now, or you can email me, paul@pixel-response.com. Let us know what you think.
Like, what do you think?
What would the Krasnor taste like?
Okay. It's an odd question, but sure. Ghetto. Krasnor G. Krasnor Ghetto. That's right.
Krasnor Ghetto?
That's what the G stands for this whole time.
The original. Krasnor Gangster. The OG.
Oh, man.
Pancakes smothered in cream.
I don't think I have anything that has gravy now that I think about it. We need to figure that out. Like, I should upgrade in that path, like get that skill tree or whatever, get the gravy skills. If they're in there, I don't know. Like,
how far does it go in Cook Serve Delicious? Like, if you say, I have like poutine, say, or whatever, I can serve poutine. Could you also serve like a side of gravy with something else?
I don't think. Well, that's like a very Canadian thing, and this is not a Canadian game. So
no, I mean, like, if you have something that's with gravy, do you have like side combos and stuff that like people can get to because you make gravy here? Say, like, can people order a side of gravy even if it's not part of like the Salisbury steak or something? You know what
there are like some toppings and sides that end up on multiple food items, but they're occasionally have a different hotkey depending on what it is. So it's like bacon shows up on a couple things, but if you're putting bacon on a salad, it comes bundled with croutons. But if you put it on potato, it's just bacon. But it being B for potatoes is a little weird because that means butter is Y. So
weird.
But butter with lobster is just B. So it's a little weird sometimes. You kind of just have to like, you kind of create like little compartmentalizations of like, okay, well, this person's asking for a lobster, so now I know what buttons are relevant to that. Like, you just kind of you just get familiar with that as you keep playing. So like every time they throw in like a new twist on a food, it definitely throws me off for a while. Like when it was like, hey, there's vegetarian lasagna now. I was like, what are you talking about? So I was just like very consciously having to like look at V, so I didn't press C, which is right next to it, which is a layer of cheese or whatever. So I was just like layering the lasagna wrong for a while, and people would get pissed. One person was just angry. Like, I thought it was like, well, at least I put them in there. Like, I put vegetables in after, so that's probably fine. And like, I cooked it fully and everything, and then gave it to him, and it was just angry red faces. They were just like, no, fucked up my lasagna, I'm out. So yeah, once you get to higher class foods, people get more picky about it, which seems like a nice commentary on actual people. Like, it's like sushi is pretty, is a thing, but if you mess that up, you'll hear about it. Like, they don't like that. Lobster too. If you do anything wrong, that person goes from like 100% happy to 0. Like, they're just like, no, fuck this. No tip for you. This is awful. So,
do you want me to read you some suggestions as to what the Krasnor G would be?
Okay.
And like, I know you can read it, but more for the listening audience after the live show is done. Okay, so pancakes smothered in gravy, we already discussed.
Yep.
Onimetsu says it would be a porn mag covered in mashed potatoes.
Like, that's the serving tray, and instead of a
the serving
plate,
tray is just like,
so you finish your
magazine.
Potatoes and you're like, oh sweet, the latest issue of Hustler. That's so dumb. Okay.
And Meow 900 said it would be a pizza with pepperoni, and it would taste like Krasnor's sweat.
The pepperonis would?
Like, I guess so. That's so gross.
Yep, salty.
Unless you have delicious sweat. I wouldn't know, and I will never know. We'll keep it that way. That's
fine. I wouldn't bet anyone's sweat actually tastes great. It's just salty and weird, but okay. Fair enough.
It probably doesn't taste like anything. It's just the idea is gross.
It's kind of a gross idea. But thanks for the suggestions, guys. We'll, whatever. Yep. I really like that game, though. I keep putting time in that. Like, it's like, I'll put in a heist or something on Payday, and then just be like, I could play more of this, but I kind of just want to go cook some food. So I'm going to go back over here. There's no sizzling steak sound in any other game I've found, so, I can't just sit there and hear the grill in my headset. Like, I put a headset on when I'm playing that game. It's serious business.
So I started trying to play a little Payday, and by trying to play a little, I mean I bought it last night and ran it for the first time before we started this.
Okay.
I need to work on the mouse settings for that game because it feels really sluggish, and that bothers me. So I gotta adjust it.
Honestly. So
have you? Okay.
Yeah,
I might just do that then.
I started with the mouse, and yeah, I don't know. I think, like, for me, the shooting felt a little crappy until I realized that's kind of a conscious thing because you buy upgrades. And since it's a co-op game, it's not like you're competing against anybody. Like, they don't even have, how did you do on your crew compared to other crew members? Like, they're just like, no, it's all in service of just winning. So you don't need to worry about that. So there's not really a competitive angle on it. So yeah, it's a little crappy, kind of like just being like, well, I could barely see that cop, but I'm trying to pick him off with this thing. And I now I have a scope, and that's at least viable. But yeah, that game seems very kind of slow on revealing how quality that experience can get in terms of the equipment you have and whatever. But I don't know.
Just like mechanically, I feel like it was maybe made for systems first, and then like PC was kind of a second thought. Because a lot of times when a shooter is made first for PC and then ported later, like the control's still fine no matter what. But you can tell a shooter that was made for PC first because the mouse feels absolutely phenomenal, and this game doesn't. And I think with tweaking, it will. But I don't know if I want to tweak it or if I just want to turn my controller on and do it that way.
Yeah, I've kind of just gone to the controller, but
yeah,
it does. I mean, it seems like the PC version is likely to be the one that's supported the longest. You know, like the Steam community, they're seeing more and more updates and stuff. I don't know how that situation is over on Xbox or PS3. I can't imagine it's easy to put out.
That's the same with every game on PC. I found that Spelunky, like if you buy it on anything other than a PC at this point, you missed out, I think. Because everything that comes out on PC, they can actually update and fix or like patch new stuff in, like new characters or whatever. And it's the same experience because I play it with my 360 controller, so like whatever. But I don't know. It's I guess it's just a convoluted way that you have to update for Microsoft that people hate.
Mm-hmm. I haven't played the Xbox Live version in a year or something. Like I have it. I have not touched it in a long time. Whereas like I'm playing the Vita one every now and then. I don't like the controls quite as much. Like they're just a little bit of fine tuning stuff you just can't seem to pull off quite right with that joystick. It's just not quite
for sure.
But it's pretty good. I did some okay ghost farming stuff yesterday. I actually managed to get 20 grand that way, which is I feel good about that. You know, like having the ghost drift over gems.
Yeah,
like that weird thing.
I don't like doing that at all, and it's probably because I don't have practice with it, and I kind of don't care. I like doing the hell runs right now, where you're like going for very specific items in a very specific way, sort of thing. That makes the game feel better to me for some reason. When it's not as open, when there's like certain things that confine your experience a little bit, that's what makes me like that game a little bit more. Knowing that, okay, I have to make sure I find the key and the chest for the eye. And now I have to make sure I find the black market and have 50,000 gold and blah, blah, blah. Like, I like having sort of little things I have to do rather than just like, no, just get to the end. I don't like the idea of like, just get to the end because it makes it feel a little bit cheaper of an experience because then it's like, well, I just have to go through these levels and some of them are really hard. And I don't know what I'm doing. This feels more like I know what my little goals are and it will help me accomplish this big goal. That's what I've liked lately about Spelunky the most.
Have you beaten Olmec then, or
no? Because I haven't even bothered. Like I've been trying to get to hell, but I've been just trying to go through the Golden City right now and kill Anubis and whatnot.
Oh, you've gotten to the Golden City?
You kill Anubis, you get the key, and then the second Anubis fucks me up because I never have bombs or a shotgun. So...
Yeah, there's one time when I actually picked up the Necronomicon and the second Anubis like immediately killed me. Like I had like nothing left. I had like a rope and I was like, I dropped into the chamber, picked it up and then went like, oh shit, and used my one rope. And then it was way too late. Like there was just red skeletons or whatever. And
I'm starting to get better with like keeping in my head the whole time that this is a roguelike. So this money that you're saving to just fucking buy bombs, like just buy them. You're going to need them.
In that way, the kind of the daily challenge runs are a little weird because you're like, well, for some reason, this prioritizes money over like everything else. So if I want a good ranking today, I need to not spend money. So it's like, well, there's a cape, but I shouldn't buy it because that's like 12 grand or something. That could bump me up a couple spots. So you're just kind of making dumb decisions that you wouldn't normally make. Because it's a challenge. But then if
you get to the Golden City and you have an excess of bombs, you can make up that difference like instantly just by blowing anything up.
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't
so.
know. It depends how comfortable you are with the game. I'm not at the point of comfort where I can say I can save 20 bombs and still beat the game, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I want to use those bombs every time I can because I'm not confident enough in my own skills or in the game to give me what I need yet.
How do you feel about murdering shopkeepers? Because, like...
Murdering shopkeepers has become the thing I do all the time. Like, if I walk in there and there's a freeze ray or a shotgun, I just pick it up and kill the shopkeeper and keep going, because shopkeepers need to die, for one thing, because they're terrible people, but more importantly, because they're easy enough kind of to kill unless they're trapped in, like, the worst is the caves. When you're in the caves, they have, like, the little slots where they can just bounce around all crazy and you'll never get them, and they will kill you.
So you're kind of like hoping a bomb will get them, but...
Right.
Yeah.
But at that point, you usually have the spider silk or whatever, like the goo, because you need those to get more important stuff later on in the game anyway. So it's even harder to get those shopkeepers. But like once you get past that, they're really easy. When you have an idea where the door is, especially if you kill the shopkeeper and you were able to take a compass for free, you just kind of see where the shop or the end door is, and you just fire bullets until you hear the music stop playing, and then you go. They're easy enough right now where they are not a liability anymore so much as killing them is the right thing to do and the best thing to do to progress. If you're able to get the $50,000, though, it might be still better to do the Enquay and go through the city of gold and blah, blah, blah. But if you can't...
Right, because if you go to the black market with everyone aggroed, it's kind of fucked up. Like, I've done it once.
It sucks.
But
it's the worst.
It's like a totally different game. It's just like this crazy battle game at that point. And like, yeah, like occasionally you get some weird, like the slave dudes are like joining you because it's just chaos in there. So like you have a little guy that's sort of trying to help, which is kind of weird. But
the thing that pisses me off is the ones with a kissing booth, because not only do you not get your own like damsel for that whole stage. Thing for that stage, you have to pay for a kiss, and if you take her, you aggro them and you might as well kill them anyways. Like, they are just bad people. They're bad. They're dogs, slave drivers. They're stealing very handsome gentlemen and very pretty women, and they are forcing them into slave labor for kisses for 8,000 gold apiece, and it's not right. They need to be stopped. You got to put an end to the shopkeepers. I'm putting a public enemy #1 on all shopkeepers everywhere. Go out, find a shotgun, and just shoot them in the head.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they have that like bushy mustache and like the bald top, you know, like you'll know them when you see them. And
if they're underground or in a jungle.
Yeah, if you find him in underground or in a jungle, that he's probably no good. Like, don't.
I guess I should say, do not go to your local 7-Eleven and shoot your shopkeeper. They are good.
Oh no, they're just good folks. They're just.
And I've worked that job before. They do not need your shit. They do not need to have a gun pulled on them. They already hate their lives, and they will gladly put that shotgun barrel in their mouths if I know what they're like, and they will just wait for you to pull that trigger, because that job is a thankless job, and you should be thanking them for every fucking Slurpee you get.
Kind of want a Slurpee now. So
I know Slurpees are delicious.
Yeah, it's kind of like soda, but it's kind
sorry
of
about that little
frosty treat
there.
No, it's fine.
I have some bad memories about being a shopkeeper.
I like applied at a Max once, and that nothing came of that. But I guess I'm glad
they saved your life.
Yeah, I didn't. Like, I just want something close, you know. I was like, what's close? Yeah, that might be kind of neat. Just like be up all night, just see the night. What's Calgary like at night?
Actually, you know what? Those shifts, the 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shifts, were kind of fun. If not for the fact that I had them on the weekends, and there would be drunk people pulling up to the pumps, and I would just have to call the cops on all of them because I hate drunk drivers. Like, I hate them so much. And I would just lock the doors and call the cops and just be like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, you didn't even park near the pump. You're in the middle of two pumps right now. Like, you're stumbling to get out of your car. You're going to jail because you're a piece of shit. Just discussion.
Nice. Good job doing some citizen award type stuff. Yeah.
One drunk asshole at a time. Just like me right now. I've been drinking. I apologize to everybody listening. But I don't know.
kind of want to bring up this thing that happened. I mean, this is ostensibly a media podcast, right? Pixel Response, Media Matters. That's our slogan.
Sure.
This is a weird piece of media I stumbled on last night, and I was just kind of transfixed by it for a while. I wasn't sure what to make of it. I was watching Mega 64 videos, as I'm prone to do. I like those dudes. I like their channel. Check them out.
As everybody should be doing.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there, video just ended, and I kind of shrink it down, and then I'm just kind of looking at the screen for a second, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what? Like, there's this, like, kind of alarming ad on there that's just like, if you have these symptoms, you should probably watch this video. And I was just like, all right, well, what do we got here? Oh, kind of a little bit of itchiness. That's happened, like dry scalp and stuff, maybe. A little bit gassy, like, on occasion. Maybe I don't know, like, this might be something I need to know. Click on it. It is like the most alarmist documentary. Like, I don't know how long it is, because like it's just this man starts speaking, and like there's a whiteboard, and this person's drawing like all these various graphs and like information and pictures and stuff, like kind of political cartoon style little stuff. And it's just talking about like there's a giant conspiracy going on between Big Sugar and the American government that is only now starting to have like the light of justice shined on it. And 250 million Americans, which if my math is right, that's almost all of them. That is like 5/6 of America are already infected with like this parasite sugar worm thing that lives in your guts. And there's just sugar in all sorts of foods and hasn't been tested properly, and it just kept going. And like, I was like, all right, like it opens with kind of this initial kind of horrifying pitch of just like, there's some crazy shit going on. You're going to want to sit down and watch this. And then it's like, all right, back in 1950. And I was just like, oh my God. And it's just like this really elaborate history of like all these deals that happened and like aspartame research and all these scientists and whatever. And it's just like this dude just drawing in time lapse, all this stuff. As far as I know, that movie's like 8 hours long. It does not tell you how long it is. It just says over the next minutes, you might learn something that'll save you and your family's life. And I'm just like, oh, wow. It was like, at some point, I was almost like, this is like a Metal Gear cutscene or something. Like the way it was, the tone of it, like, and like just the charts and the weird stuff. It was just like so through the looking glass conspiracy stuff. I was just like, this is like, I accidentally stumbled on some Kojima type business. This is kind of great. But I didn't finish watching it. Like at some point, Brittany came and was just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I don't know. I'm watching Big Sugar. They're gonna kill us
like,
all.
What are you doing? You're just like clicking exit. Like
no,
rapidly.
I
You're
just
like
sat there
nothing.
and kept
No,
watching it
nothing.
for a
I'm not
bit.
doing anything right now.
Yeah, I'm not buying into this. What are you talking about? I will say, like, I'm every now and then I get a little conspiracy theorist style. Like whenever I see an ad for milk, I hate it because it's never for a specific dairy. It is just for milk. And it's just like, well, what the hell's going on? Like, did all the dairy farmers in the world agree to, like, just sell us milk? Do we even need milk? Why do you need to convince me we need milk if we actually need milk? This is, what the fuck? Like, there's no ads for water. This must be...
There should be. There should be ads for water.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, drink water. It's great. Well, I mean, other than, like,
water or you'll die.
Bullshit. Yeah, but if it was just, like, water, it's just like, hey, you should really drink some water. Like, there should be ads for water. You're right. Like, that actually would be a public service. Whereas milk, now that they have, like, as big an ad budget as they do, I'm just like, this is weird. Like, you shouldn't have this much money to sell me on the idea of drinking milk. And the point, like, there was a time in my, like, just, media consumption life where I realized, like, something's up with milk was when there was an ad that said chocolate milk is okay. As long as and I was like, okay, well, that's bullshit. That stuff's full of sugar. There's no way that's good for me. But you're saying because it has vitamin D in it, it's better than nothing, right? It's like, hey, you get your calcium. It's doctors and stuff. And you're just like, nah, you're full of shit, milk. You're something's wrong. So I stopped drinking milk for a while. I'm back on milk because cereal is so good. But this sugar documentary kind of got me in a weird way where I was like, oh, man, all right.
You can eat cereal with water, by the way. Once you get past that hump that like you've been indoctrinated with, that you need milk for everything that's cereal related,
Oh no,
and
I've
it's
had
fine.
cereal with water before.
It kind of sucks, really.
It kind of sucks. Like you feel kind of like you're a cow or something. Like you're just like, I'm just eating like mush meal at this point. Like I can eat it, but I just feel weird. Yeah. I also
love how
like,
you're saying like chocolate milk is bullshit or whatever, and then you're like, I like milk because of cereal. It's like, dude,
I know
the cereal, the sugar in the cereal turns your milk into basically worse.
Whatever. We have like a thing full of Nesquik too. Like we're chocolate milk fans. It's just,
of course,
I know it's a snack, right? Like it's not good,
right?
But this ad
it's not
was
your protein
it,
supplement for when you go to the gym. Is what you're
like,
saying?
No, yeah. This ad was pitching it like, no, dude, it's better that you drink that. And I was just like, that's fucked. That's crazy. Like it would be like if you're trying to sell me on chips or something, and it's like, hey, it's got, I don't know, sodium. It's got fiber.
It's got something.
Fiber. You should drink. You should eat all these chips. And you're just like, fuck off, chips. Come on, stop trying to be something you're not. Milk was trying to be something it isn't, and I was not into it. So, whatever. This was a crazy thing I found. Like banner ads, I never click them, but this one was like freaking me out with like health scares. It's just like, oh man, like we're probably going for flu shots tomorrow. Like we're just kind of, like, I've read enough articles where it's just like a lot of Calgarians are really just kind of passive about it, and that's why they're gonna die or whatever. It's like, oh fuck, all right, fine.
That's why they're gonna die.
Yeah, it's just like more people than you know die of flus in the modern age, and it was just like, all right, newspaper. Like, if you're going to get all freaky, I guess I'll go get one. So
that's some extremist bullshit right there.
It wasn't
like, really?
that shrill, but it was
like really,
about,
if
like,
someone has a flu that gets to the point where it's really bad, that person will not just go to the ER and they will operate or do something to fix it instantly. It's the common flu, for Christ's sakes. Like, sure, I'm sure
that would have been sorted by now. I guess the point that definitely hit home for me, though, was it was talking about H1N1 possibly having a resurgence, and I totally had that in 2009. I know you did. And it was, I mean, other than the amazing John Carpenter marathon that happened because of it, it was a terrible time. I don't want that again. So I think it's...
Was it pretty bad? Was it as bad as people say?
It was not good. It was just like, yeah, just like that pasty drinking water, like just head kind of not in it. Like it just, I wasn't like puking a lot or anything. It was just like I felt really bad. Like you couldn't even just enjoy hanging out as much as you'd like to. Like it was definitely a thing where it's just like, I really shouldn't go to work. You know, like I've had a cold a bit in the last while, but I'm still going to work because it's like, whatever. Like that's not dangerous. Whereas this was like, this could really ruin somebody's week or something. Like this is bad. So I'm gonna do the responsible thing and just not earn money for a while and stay home. Like it was like, it's kind of a weird thing. Like it's just like there's no one, covering that really. You're just kind of sitting there. But it's better for society that you don't go out. I kind of like that.
Sure.
Actually, part of it's great because it's like, well, I'm on quarantine. I can't go anywhere. What do you mean? I can't do that. It would be dangerous. Yeah. So, you have to stay home. There are a lot of days when like a shift comes up that I don't want, where it's just like, I wish I was on quarantine or something. That'd be pretty scary.
Or you call in and you say, I have SARS, I'll be in Monday or something.
I have SARS, I'll be in Monday. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably going to die or something. And then just show up again. It's like, oh no, never mind. I went to the doctor and it was fine. I also didn't get a note while I was there. So don't ask. It's not even a thing. I know the guy. It's cool. Got hospital.
I know the guy. Yeah.
I kind of do have hospital connections because my mom has been a nurse for a long time, but that hasn't panned out in like amazing ways. It was like one time
I someone on Twitter that's a registered nurse. So
what? There you go. So you just like ping them with health questions. I'm sure they love that.
Well, she works at Lougheed, like specifically, like the hospital near me.
Okay, that's not bad. It's a fine establishment, healing people since 1980, whatever. I don't remember when they built
Peter Lougheed Hospital, everybody. Northeast Calgary. Visit it.
Northeast Calgary,
check it out. SARS needs.
One of the premier hospitals. I don't actually know that. It's just the one I'm most familiar. But, they got like a big psych ward. I know that. So
I've been in that psych ward more times than you could probably count, and I haven't been admitted to it any time at all. It's just people I've known go in there. I've visited it many times.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it nice? Like, what's it like? Is it like that movie?
It sucks. imagine a big like main room,
Mm-hmm.
and then a whole bunch of little rooms like on the sides, almost like
Girl Interrupted
dormitory or something. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. It's kind of like Girl Interrupted. Nice.
Yeah. The first time was my friend in high school tried killing himself.
That's a shame.
Still it's a shame he didn't succeed anyway. But yeah, he is still here.
Throwing dark.
Have you ever had to go? Have you ever had a friend that had some real problems, like psychologically?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm trying to think. Oh no, there was not super serious, but there was a guy on antidepressants that I worked with during my video store days.
Okay, that's fine.
And he would just kind of it's like, hey, how's it going? And then he'd kind of elaborate on what he's doing and like the dosages they were changing and tweaking and whatever. And like sometimes
the fact that he was on medication the fact he was on medication means he got help.
Yeah, exactly. Good. So it was a good case, I guess, of that being dealt with responsibly. But that's kind of the only one that springs to mind. Yeah.
But I mean, I came from what people so lovingly called in our city suicide high. So There you go. Where 3 people killed themselves in the same year.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Do you want to give a shout out to the schools? Be like, hey guys, check it out.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I think we have talked about it before. That's why I was on watch from the guidance counselor for some reason for a while, because I wrote a short story in which a kid came to school and killed everybody.
Yeah, that would probably raise some alarm bells. It's kind of weird.
But I don't it was right after the whole Columbine stuff and blah blah blah. But I don't know. I think it was just lashing out at this whole I knew 3 people that one guy shot his head off and the other one hung herself, and I think it was just part of that. But
yeah,
they didn't take it that way and thought I was a terrorist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just well, maybe it's just because of all this crazy shit that's been happening, trying to deal with it creatively. Maybe this is healthy. And they're just no, pretty sure you're a psychopath. So
it's from the same. It was an English assignment too. So it's First of all, I thought free speech in literature was a thing. Second of all, you're the same teacher that yelled at me because I came to my class late one time by 5 minutes with shoes a little bit muddy. Not only were they a little bit muddy, she said I would be kicked out of her class if I came in with muddy shoes next time. So the next time I was 20 minutes late because I went to the janitor's office to clean my muddy shoes off. She was just a bitch, and then she got me in trouble for being 20 minutes late. It's well, fuck you. You said if I came to your class late again with muddy shoes, I would be in trouble. So I went to the janitor's office and was watering down my fucking shoes because I walked to school. Sorry, not everybody has a fucking car when they're 14 years old.
Yeah. Logic just doesn't come up sometimes. It's get a ride or something. Jeez, I don't know. Just no mud on the shoes. Wear bags on your feet, and then throw the bags away when you get to school. Obviously, I just solved it.
It's I'm a 14-year-old kid. Fuck you.
Plastic bags are everywhere. Yeah, no. I don't know.
The fact that I am coming to school into your class, you should be happy. Because this is a point where everybody skips school because nobody cares about it. And for some reason, not only do I care enough to go to your class, I care enough that I don't want to be kicked out of your class to go by the exact rule that you gave me the last time and clean my shoes off. So go fuck yourself. And then I wrote a story about people killing everybody. Yeah. I wonder why. Airdrie, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah. Home of the game dudes. That's where they came from. That's the place. We'll elaborate on that.
Game dudes.
Hey, it's game dudes. Yeah, all sorts of theme song demos are in there. Vote on which one you like in the comments, and we'll look on making that a full track.
Yeah,
sure. Why not?
It's game dudes.
It is.
We should almost make that a track.
It's honestly just a ripoff of the Hey, It's Franklin, so we can't do that.
No,
so it's already a cartoon.
If we put a hot beat behind it, it's fine. If we go like or something, it'd be like, hey, it's a game, dudes. Then we're fine.
Okay, just
then
totally
it's then it's not copyright infringement. It's irritative. I can't talk.
Iterating. Okay.
Yeah, iterative.
It's like a remix, so it's our own. It doesn't count. I gotcha.
Exactly.
What else? What's been? I mean, I think we're on the verge of the Golden Globes, and the Oscar nominations are going to happen. But I don't know if I should care about those.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. I've been meaning to see Inside Llewyn Davis, but we didn't get around to doing that yet. That's the new Coen Brothers movie. So, yeah, I want to see that. I don't know. Like, I mean, I played a little Max Payne 3 today. That was a thing I did. But it looks way nicer on the computer. But I was having issues with... I put it on hard mode for, in retrospect, a terrible, like, regrettable reason. So I was just dying a lot and then quitting because I was frustrated. And then returning only to find that there are, like, the checkpoint system in that game is broken. I think it might be like, remember how Halo, it would be like, if you just rage quit out, you're fucked because it doesn't actually have a hard save.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, well, it's checkpointing. Like, I just died and went back to that thing. And it's just like, no, all that stuff gets wiped when you turn it off. So I don't know if it's something like that or what, but I basically had to like redo like the last little bit of the first mission and then watch a giant cutscene. Like, in retrospect, I liked that game 2 years ago. I don't like how many cutscenes are on that game. Like, I don't want that. I just want to shoot stuff, stop it with like the mopey, depressing, like just depressed dude story. Like, just press enter, skip this crap. I want to get back to the like crazy action scenes. And I don't know. It's like not letting me do that fast enough, so I'm just like sitting there hammering the button. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through that, at least not on hard difficulty. I'm going to turn it down next time I play it and see if that just like makes it so I'm just getting through the whole stage and not even have to worry about it. But yeah, I was kind of having a miserable time, which is too bad. I mean, I want to have fun, but I guess also, like, I mean, people are super critical about like Alan Wake having too many collectibles and stuff. This game just has like golden gun parts hidden in the level, and the level's kind of otherwise, you know, like not much going on. Like, it's just like, well, there's like a restaurant here, but why would I go behind this barbecue or whatever to find this golden gun piece? Like, why would I do that? Like, especially in the context of the story is like, oh man, those people got kidnapped. I got to go hurry and save them. And Max has dialogue to that effect where he's just like, I had no time to mess around. I had to hurry and get on with it or whatever. And you're just like, well, fuck off. I need to pick up the gold gun parts that Rockstar put here for me to find. So stop telling me to do something and then, you know, give me reason to not do it. It's just weird. So don't do that. Collectibles and games, stop it. That's a bad thing. Just don't. Well, not as a blanket statement, but in a game like that, don't do it. In like Mario or something where you're like, get the green stars as you're running around collecting coins and shit. It's like, yeah, well, that's all that's going on. So that's
Crackdown or like Saints Row or whatever. Like,
well, I had a great time doing it in Saints Row because it's just like between missions, it's just open and giant playground to jump around. Totally great. But this is like the fun thing is diving through the air while shooting dudes. Once you've shot all the dudes, you want to move on. But it is telling you, no, run over here into this corner where nothing's happening, and maybe there'll be a gun part there. And it's like, that's not in no way fun. That's tedious as hell. Like, that's making your level more tedious than it needs to be. Like, anyway, looks nice though.
That's the same problem I've been having with Tomb Raider. Actually, it's like I
was kind of having that. Well, the cutscene problem I was having in that game, but
that's what I'm talking about. It's like, oh man, I love playing this game. I don't love that after I do like 5 minutes of something awesome, I have to sit through 5 minutes of like cutscene. I really hate that. I don't know what it is. I used to think I used to have the patience for it. I just don't anymore. Where it's like, if you have a cutscene just kind of thrown in there, I immediately don't care anymore about your game. Like, is that bad? Because I know they want to do like story-based stuff, but I think it would be a more intriguing story to just give me the mechanics and basic outline, and then like I can pick up little diaries or something if I want it. Otherwise, just let me like try to survive in this island. That's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That game is so cool. It has so many good things in it, but it has so many problems that are just with the third-person shooter genre in general, that it's hard to kind of get motivated to keep playing it. The bow and arrow is awesome. That feels
What
really
is it
cool.
about it that makes it so cool? Like,
Because
think they make you use it in the opening, like to hunt the deer?
It's the fact that if you want, you can like hold the button down or whatever and like pull your string back more. I don't know. It just has a very tactile feel to it. So if you hold the button longer, you do a more like powerful shot. But it's still kind of like, I don't know. It's just different than a gun sort of thing where you shoot somebody in the neck and they just like die sort of thing. They don't just like soak up bullets. But like if you do a small shot, maybe they just like have the arrow in their arm or something. Of course they're going to keep shooting at you. I don't know. It just feels very good. And I don't know what it is about it. Like, it's very well done. And a lot of the stuff in that game is very well done, where it's just kind of like almost an open world game with like dudes to kill and treasure to find. But there's still the problem of like, we want to have a story implemented some here and here that makes it very linear, which takes away from the fun experience of most of what the other parts of the game have to offer.
Yeah. It's kind of like when the systems are really strong and well considered, but then like they kind of want the narrative to go in a certain way. So it's like,
right.
I don't know. In Max Payne, like I like the way the jumping and shooting mechanics feel. It's just I'm kind of in a corridor all the time when I'm doing it. So it's just like, well, this isn't a fun gunfight right now because I have to go right and then go down the stairs, and that's like all there is to do. It's not like I can just go over here and have a cool gun battle over here. It's not open that way. So like there are good parts in that game, and then there's some kind of not great ones too. So I don't know. Tomb Raider, I kind of want to like. I definitely never got to the point where that game opens up at all. Like I was pretty early in it both times, and playing it twice wasn't like, you know, I started on 360. And then got the better PC version. So I'm just like, well, I'm going to stop what I was just doing and do it over here now. And it's like, well, I have to do that first hour and a half again. And that kind of just stalled me out almost immediately. So yeah, I read a really passionate like summary of like why that game was number one for somebody this year. And I was just like, all right, fine. I guess I'll check it out. But
that game's a strong number 15 if we're counting like top 10 lists for me. It's still, it's still one of the better games I played this year, but like it's not in the top 10.
There were some great games like kind of around that range for me this year too, where it's just like, well, I don't not like The Last of Us. I just didn't get my mind melted by it or anything. So
for sure,
you know, it's there. Like I am aware of it. I played it. I can talk to you about it, but I'm not going to have the same kind of view of it as some people are saying. Like, I don't know. People are like, this is like a major paradigm shift for games and stuff. I don't know who that person is or what they're.
I don't see it.
I think it's more like what that person is looking for from games. I don't actually want that at all, and I think they're stupid for wanting that. Like it's just like,
yeah,
you don't. Sure. I don't want this to be more like movies. Like actually, you know, like Max Payne 3 seems like it wants to be a hard boiled like Tony Scott movie or something. It's just like I don't want a giant movie. I want a video game. Like, you know, I want like they get parts of it really, really great. Like when you're actually in it and you're shooting stuff, it looks amazing and it's like kind of fun to mess around. But whenever you're just kind of sitting there watching, it's just like, well, I don't want to do this right now. I want to be the guy. Like I was kind of thinking like, why don't they do stuff where it's like the same narrative stuff is happening, like the same kind of dialogue and stuff, but you're literally walking or something while it's going on. You know, like you have to do something. There's something for you, the player, to do other than just sit there. Like that's the kind of stuff. It seems obvious. Like it's just like never have just a cutscene. Always have me impacting it in some way. Like even Metal Gear, the way they let you kind of fuck around with the camera, I am never not fucking around with the camera.
You know, that's enough, honestly.
Same thing. Like it gives me a thing to kind of exercise I am impacting this in some way. Like, oh, what's that? And then I can like zoom in on it or something. Like, I am a part of the thing, as opposed to just, no, sit there and watch. Be a good, viewer. Just sit there for like 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll get back to the action eventually. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, it says I played 80 minutes of Max Payne 3 today. I probably played like 30 minutes. Like, I was in the game.
Actually playing. Like,
actually doing something. The rest of the time, I was sitting there watching this weird movie, which I don't know. It was cool one time, but now that I've played it all the way through, I just kind of want to mess around with those levels again. Like, strip out that layer of it and just play the game. And I can't. That's kind of this weird thing. Like, there was a mode in Max Payne 2 I really like, where it's like Last Man Standing or something, or I don't know. I forget what it's called. But basically, you just play wave after wave of dudes until you die. Like, there will be infinite dudes. It's just seeing how far you can go and how many points you can get.
Like a horde mode sort of thing?
Yeah, but like single player, and with the stylish action of that game, I just really liked playing it. Like, I would just put on a dance playlist and just shoot and jump around for like an hour. And I bought it on Steam, and I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to play that mode. You have to beat the game to unlock that mode. So I was just kind of like, I don't want to go through the campaign again, because like there's all these long-winded parts in it that I just don't care about. I just want to get down to the thing. And as far as I know, like, I was trying to import my save from like the disc version I had. I was trying to like get a save from the end of the game or like whatever. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to just skip that crap and get to the cool part. But whatever. Video games, I'm
sorry, I keep laughing because I'm like periodically looking at the chat just randomly, and
I know
I have sex in a car.
I've never had sex in a car. That's kind of the conversation here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not the conversation, but it's just going such weird places.
It started that way, and then it got into sex dungeons, and then Animal Crossing dungeons and pimps. So yeah, it's hey, check out the live show. Keep an eye on Twitter. You can get in on this weird kind of conversation.
People are frisky tonight. It's Friday night. People are frisky.
It is Friday night. People are ready to party, and it shows. So thanks for coming out.
It's just pretty funny how like much the conversation has just devolved into weird like Animal Crossing sex dungeons.
I've seen some of those. Like, there's some like it was like a Reddit picture of this dude who created this like weird, creepy, like Reggie Fils-Aimé dungeon where he just like made that dude's face in like the pixel editor and has it all over the place. And then there is a single screen in the corner, a single chair, and like a box of Kleenex next to the the chair.
God.
And that's
my
it.
God.
And it's just like, you made Animal Crossing perverse and weird with the tools they gave you. Like, good job for twisting that. That's kind of amazing. But it was.
That's pretty great, actually.
It was not bad. Fan art, I guess you could call it. Good job, internet. You did it.
But this is why I like doing this live show on like weird nights, because like it's just a night for people to kind of like let their hair down. That's what I do like about our podcast, is that like we talk maybe insightfully about some stuff, but then like the other half of the time the chat is talking about sex dungeons. So there's a good balance there where it's like, well, I want to hear about what these people's thoughts on like video games in today's day and age, trying to be more like the movie medium, but at the same time I want to talk about Animal Crossing. This is where you do it.
I never go to any towns in Animal Crossing. Like, it's just, I open the gate sometimes. I don't know how that works. Anyway, just responding to something.
I don't know anything about any of that.
It's like, you need to kind of, like, we've exchanged friend codes and everything. So I have people that could, in theory, visit, but you need to like talk to this conductor dude in your town, and then he enables that to be a thing that could conceivably happen. But I think they need to do something on their end at the same time. It's weird.
I'm at this bad point of the night right now where I can't drink normal Pepsi without having this vodka in it because it tastes weird without it.
Okay.
Because it's vanilla vodka, so I got this taste of like vanilla Coke in my
we
mouth.
had like cake vodka, and yeah, it can be pretty tasty in a weird way. So,
oh, weird. Would you mix that with anything or drink it straight though? Probably straight.
No, we were mixing it with something. What was it?
I put it in the sugar cookies.
Oh, what?
Oh, nice.
There's cake vodka and sugar cookies apparently. So awesome.
Actually,
but
that
no,
sounds like it
what
would
were those
taste
drinks
good.
We made? We made cocktails or something.
I have no
It was like
idea.
Kahlua, cake vodka.
Oh, White Russians.
White Russians. There you go.
White Russians, of course.
Yeah.
No, but like it's weird now because I've been mixing this vanilla vodka in with my Diet Pepsi, so it's been tasting just like vanilla Coke or something right now. So if I try to drink the Diet Pepsi without the vodka, I just automatically get this like, this is kind of missing something gross taste in my mouth, and I have to mix more in. That's why it's getting harder to place or piece sentences together right now. So I apologize to everybody for that. However, I'm having fun, so fuck you. Anyways, let's move on. Do you have anything? How was your week? It's been a good week? You've been off. Kind of.
I've been off today. I have a couple days where I can kind of just relax. Yeah. Work's getting a little. I mean, it's like the post-holiday slump, I guess, in some ways. So there's less hours to go around.
Because nobody.
So that's not.
Right?
Yeah. So that's not actually good in a long-term way because there's less wages coming in and stuff. But in the short term, it's kind of like, oh, sweet. But I'm sure I'm
gonna play Max Payne 3 now.
Yeah, I got to play Match 3. Sweet. Thanks, work. And it's just like, oh. But it's not so much that. It's like some of the shifts I do have are like creepily short. Like it's just like, hey, that's not 8 hours. Can I have 8 hours? Oh, no? Uh-oh. Like it's a little weird. So hopefully everything's fine. I got to do the thing I like to do most at work last day I was there. So that was good. Receiving. Scanning stuff. They don't let me do that all the time.
Oh, dude, I hated that part. I hated that part of Staples. That was my worst job, I think, is having to count everything and then scan them.
Oh, okay. We get to listen to music while we do it, so it kind of just makes everything fine. Well, I think it's like, because I get that one little thing of self-expression there, it's like, I can play the music I want. I am okay. Like, it's like, I get to be a little bit of an individual. When it's like, go out on the floor and, behave in this way, it's like, fuck. Like, I'm not as good at that. I get a little antsy about it. So
sure.
I'm probably not a great employee. I don't know. I haven't, maybe I'm fine.
You're the best employee, probably.
Some larger scale or something like, might be fine. I don't know. But work was fine, I guess. There's things there that, like, there's still little like weird tension things between managers and stuff. I think that's sorted out now. I think there were some temporary people here for Christmas season that have left. So hopefully things can return to normal and it'll be fine. But yeah, work was kind of uneventful. I'm trying to think what else happened in the past few days. What's going on over there, I guess? You were kind of...
We went to Zoo Lights.
Okay. How was that?
It was less great than the years past, but we figured it was due to maybe them spending their budget on trying to, like, rebuild the zoo after that terrible flood that happened.
Yeah, they were closed. Like, big parts of the zoo were closed for months, so I could see it being a little lackluster on that front this year. Okay, like, I guess, yeah, at the Calgary Zoo, they put up a bunch of kind of animal-shaped light displays, and you walk around, and is there kind of special events and stuff? Can you get, like, a cup of cocoa or something, or how does...
That's pretty much the reason why we go now. For one thing, it's kind of like tradition, because we've done it every year for a long time.
It's kind of just a nice walk,
Mostly, it's just been kind of like, we go there for hot chocolate. And we walk around, look at lights, take a few pictures, chat a little bit, and then go home. So that's kind of the thing now that we do every year. Which is, all things considered, not a bad thing, because we get some fresh air, we get a good quality cup of hot chocolate,
Yeah.
And we get to see a bunch of weird monkey lights and weird dinosaurs that they try to do. But
oh man, the dinosaur section is always
they look so dumb.
Especially when like the water's too low or something, and you're just like, oh, there's just a neck. There's not actually even a dinosaur figure there. It is like all smoke and mirrors.
So
it's like a crappy amusement
I think
park.
we'll have pictures up, maybe. Probably not on the site, but maybe somewhere, and I'll just link to it if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
But there
it
is.
just reminded me. There's this like, I think it's in Chilliwack or Abbotsford. There's this like shitty place called Dino Town.
That sounds amazing.
It ought to be, but I just remember going there and I was like just a little bit too old for that, like the level they were going for. There's like, if you're like 5 and love Barney, oh my god, this place is just a magical like miracle land. Whereas like I like the Flintstones or something, but this just didn't meet even that. It was just like, you know how like Heritage Park is basically just walk around and look at these buildings? Like there's not really much to do in terms of an amusement park. It's more like kind of a museum, but a little more experiential or whatever. This was like kind of like that, but with like shittily built like concrete like approximations of like fake caveman houses and stuff, and like just like concrete dinosaurs that were just there, and like big eggs and stuff. Like it was just like, what is this? Like this isn't like this is not educational. It's not especially entertaining. There's like no mini golf or anything. Like, why are we here? I don't know. Something about what you just said brought that back in vivid. Yeah. Like, I mean, really, that corner of the zoo is like a step up from this in terms of like, it's at least trying to be accurate-ish in representing what a dinosaur may have possibly looked like. This was like, what's it? Dino or something from Flintstones? What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Dino. Yeah.
Everything kind of in that kind of mindset, like that kind of exaggerated cartoonish features, but like bootleg. Like it was like bootleg Flintstones world. And nothing was quite right. Dino Town, look it up. It's a tourist trap somewhere out there in BC, and it's really not great. So public service announcements just need to let people know if they ever find themselves around there not to go there. At least as of like 1996, it was garbage. But yeah, useful information.
So I'm going to do something unprecedented, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to call a break because I've been drinking for the last couple hours and need to use the washroom really badly. Okay. And when I come back, we'll do emails and voicemails, questions, blah, blah, blah sort of thing. So anybody in the live chat right now, if you have questions, go ahead and post them and I will grab them when we get back to the live show.
Okay. All right, we're back.
And we're
Welcome
back
to the Pixel Response Podcast, January 3rd, 2014 edition, the inaugural flagship cast for this year.
Yeah.
Year of the podcast. Hashtag. Check it out on the Twitter.
I'm declaring this year of the response, I think.
Okay.
Which means that people in the community have to responding more to questions or stuff we pose, and they have to be asking or commenting more on stuff we say.
Okay.
So I'm putting that out to all of you.
Okay.
More interaction. I don't know. Also,
you need to play Monaco with us at least 16% more times than you did last year.
So it seems like you would be a good provider, and while I would be, I don't know, seems like the one night stand kind of guy.
Yeah. That's Paul in a nutshell.
So weird.
Yeah.
If anything, I would think you would be the one night stand kind of guy.
You actively asked for weirder questions, so
I didn't actively ask for weird questions. I just said any questions or comments or whatever, and then the dude was like, well, how inappropriate can they be? And then I was like, okay, now I'm curious, because when you have to ask, it's maybe pretty bad, so I have to know. I didn't bring it necessarily upon us. I just said, well, if anyone has any, like, I just thought maybe somebody would ask you about, like, what do you think about Max Payne 3's bullet time or something, not about what we did get asked.
Right. No.
Anyway.
I don't even know why I'm talking about such an old game. No one is currently way up on that. It's like, oh yeah, Max Payne 3, that overlooked classic. Like, no, it's not even that far enough in memory to be considered that. So, okay, it's question time.
Do you want to start with chat or voicemails?
Let's start with chat, I guess.
Okay, so the first question... Okay, we can't ask the first question from the chat because it requires one of the voicemails. Let's just say mouse stuff comes later.
Okay.
Because I think hers follow up with some of the voicemails she sent in.
Okay.
So Oni Metsu says, what are your guys' opinions of Beyond Two Souls?
How are you feeling about it?
I thought it was novel for the first hour, and then I got sick of it and stopped playing. So it's a David Cage game.
I mean, with the thing we're talking about like cutscene versus game, like, yeah, there's a lot of you not really doing stuff. Although
that game is a cutscene with button pushes in there.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's kind of like keeping you like doing something during those cutscenes for like more periodically, I guess. So it's
sure.
An okay hybrid or whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess I found that game way longer than it actually is, which isn't a good sign. Like, I just found it kind of tedious at times. Like, it's just like, I don't care about this. Let's just keep it going. I guess the main takeaway I keep coming back to is, like, I don't think it having a scrambled timeline helps that story at all. It just
it doesn't.
Makes it frustrating to deal with. Like, you're just like, here's a bunch of mechanics that you won't actually use for like 6 hours. And you're just like, well, why did you introduce them at this point? You know, and then like it'll just keep kind of like jumping back and forth in time. So like characters that are later sinister aren't really developed enough for that to really hit hard. And then you go to a different point in time where like, oh, that would have really helped. Like, it just seems like they put it in a blender at some point. And that kind of grossed me out. I like some of the set pieces though, and I thought it looked pretty cool visually. And like there's like kind of chapters of that game I think are kind of better than others. But yeah, overall I guess I was kind of interested enough in it to play through it all the way, but I think if I stalled at some point, it would have been easy to walk away from that game too. You know, like if I hadn't finished it when I finished it, I probably would have never finished it.
For sure.
It's not really like that compelling or like, oh man, yeah, I wonder what happens in that story. Like, it didn't have like enough of like teasy stuff that I was kind of interested in genuinely. So
I agree for sure.
I don't know. How far did you get? Like, where are you in the?
I'm halfway through, which is about 4 hours ish.
Okay. Has like the desert stuff happened yet?
That doesn't sound familiar. The last thing I did that was really big was the whole hobo part, where you're a homeless person.
That was a pretty goofy section of the game because of how easily a pretty major thing is dealt with.
It sucks. Like, that whole part of the game is just crappy.
Yeah.
It's just not compelling at all. It feels like if you were to have like a movie on Beyond Two Souls, that whole section would have been the part that was like the like web series thing that comes out to accompany the movie before it comes out.
Like the bonus stuff that isn't even integrated well. Like, yeah, there's like section of that game that just seems like this does not fit really well into the story. Like, you're saying for a period of your life, you were a depressed, near suicidal, homeless person.
Right.
During like a really bad blizzard, and then all that stuff was dealt with, and now you're in Africa or something. Like, it just.
But then the thing is, I don't care about that point in your life. Tell me about the parts that are cool. Like, you started off on a very strong foot when you were a kid, and like you were being like kind of told by these doctors to kind of hone your abilities. That part was kind of cool. And then like the next part is when you're in this weird embassy for like some Arabians or something, and you're trying to steal some notes. That part was kind of cool. And then after that, it's just like, I don't care what you did previously in your life. Just show me parts that might have to do with something eventually.
Yeah. No, it does a weird job of kind of keeping you interested in what's going on. Like, it's juggling too much, and it kind of really loses it a couple times. Loses the plot. And yeah, there's a couple sections where it's just like, this, like, it's like, they could have used Aiden as a really interesting link or like a role for the player to occupy. But then there's moments where he kind of has his own things that he does just in cutscenes and whatever that you have no control over. So that kind of ruined that aspect of it for me. Like I started that game as like, oh, I'm Aiden. I'm like this other dimensional entity contacting the world of this story. That's kind of cool. It's like I'm watching a movie, but like they're aware of me, the audience. Neat. And then they totally just ruin that partway through the game by making my character do shit I wouldn't do. And that kind of pissed me off. So, yeah. David Cage, man. Quantic Dream, I don't know. Like, I was like really, really just caught up in their first game that I played, Fahrenheit, or Indigo Prophecy, as it was called here.
Yeah, Fahrenheit is like other people in the EU might know it, I guess.
Yeah, with each subsequent release that I've played, like Heavy Rain, I was like less into it, and the story really kicked me in the face after it was over. Like, I traded that game and I was just like, fuck it, I'm done. And this one, like, I wasn't angry at it in the same way, but it's like my interest in this kind of like line of reasoning or whatever, like this kind of avenue of game design thought is diminishing with each entry because it's not really doing amazing stuff. Like, it's not doing fresh new things. Like, it's doing quick time events better than a lot of people, but that's like kind of getting into this is almost cinema, but like all that kind of stuff I was saying, like I want gameplay primarily, and this isn't that. So
it looks outstanding in some parts too, really pushing the limits of
PS3,
the PS3. Yeah. So
I mean, it's been pointed
that
out to me that like they do a kind of like a letterboxing thing a lot.
Okay.
And I didn't really notice it while I was playing it, but apparently it's like, oh, you can kind of see where they're kind of like trying to massage that little bit of extra juice out of it by kind of like, well, there's less being displayed on the screen right now, so we're able to kind of pull this off. Like, that was kind of the thing. And it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that, but I guess you're probably right. Like, that's how kind of some of these technical feats are being pulled off. But yeah, like, especially later game, like, I guess you haven't seen it, but there's kind of this big, like, really ridiculous, but like underwater base section that,
okay,
again, like, how does the story get to an underwater base? You'll have to play to find out. It's like James Bond stuff. It's really weird. It's like the Abyss or something. But visually, there's some really cool stuff that happens down there. So, yeah, it's like an interesting, flawed experiment, I guess.
What I found really cool, I think, is what I described in the podcast that we did when I was playing through it a little bit, is that the beginning of the game, there's a point where you're in a room as I can't even remember what her character name is in that game, but Ellen Page's like younger self or whatever, Jodie. She's Holmes. She's in the one room, and like you're being told, well, can you like make him push over these blocks or whatever? And then you as the player decide, because this is a new mechanic, you're kind of like, oh, I'm going to play around with this a little bit. You decide as the player to kind of push it to the limits and start throwing desks around and like really scaring the shit out of this person. And then you realize you didn't have to do any of that. That was all your thing as a player. And the whole time Jodie's telling you, like, Aiden, please stop, or whatever. And like she's crying and everyone's freaking out. And you realized you're the one that caused this response from everybody. That was cool. That was so cool how they kind of threw that little curveball where it's like all this kind of bad like we knew players were going to do this, so we had to make like a response for it, because she's freaking out like, no, I just wanted you to like push the little blocks over. I didn't want you to throw this table across the room and threaten to kill the lady sitting here.
Yeah.
But
like, I mean,
that
in a way, like those moments are kind of really cleverly done because they're kind of throttling your interactivity with it a lot. So you're kind of like wanting to act out. So then when you get an opportunity to, you go for it. And then the game is kind of like responding in a pretty, logical way, as being like, whoa, that's way more than I wanted to happen. Like you're kind of this loose cannon entity or whatever.
If they had kept that up, that would have been great. That would have been
like
fantastic.
That's an early game moment where like it's like
instead
wow,
of that,
really
they
clicked.
neuter you as Aiden. They neuter you because there's a part where you're at a house party and people are picking on Jody, and you want to throw shit around and they don't let you. But
then again, they give you an opportunity to kind of lash out eventually, and you can push that pretty far too. So like it's like, yeah, in that scenario, I think that's reasonably well executed again. There are points in that story, though, where it's just like, there should literally be no tension here. Because earlier in this game, I saw Jody jump off a speeding train, and there was like a force field around her, and it didn't matter at all. Like, it kind of makes everything after that game just seem like this doesn't make sense. Like, Aiden should just be able to make this work. Like, this isn't even a problem. And there's actually one point in that game where I think the game, like, once again expects you to kind of lash out at this kind of messed up thing that's happening. But it was like so much later, and I was kind of aware of it now because of the other ones where it's just kind of like Aiden went too far, that I was like not fooled this time. But the game seemed to really expect me to push it, like to push that envelope and get violent. And I was just like, no, that I think the consequences we're about to dole out here way outweigh like the severity of the crime. Like the crime is pretty bad, but this is a shotgun. Like there's a part where it's like death is in your hands, and I was like, no. And the game like eventually does like keep going, but it was like I was sitting there for like 50 seconds or something. It's like, do you remember like in Mass Effect, like the renegade choices?
Oh, for sure. Where it would just like, pop up with the trigger option, like where you could shoot someone in the head or throw them out the window or something.
It would be like if one of those was on there for like a full minute, and the game is kind of just going like it really expects you to go off, and it's just like,
for people not watching the video and listening later, Nathan just looked in the camera.
I just like leaned in.
Like, come on, you know what you have to do, sort of thing.
Like,
I thought I would describe that for our listeners afterwards. Sorry. Anyways, go on.
Oh, they're not watching the video archive? Yeah, no, it's fine.
You missed out if you didn't watch the video archive. Twitch.tv/exposure Friday nights, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, there's some Beyond Two Souls thoughts for you. I mean,
all in all, I don't feel like. I mean, I didn't buy the game, but even if I had bought the game at $60, I don't feel like it would have been wasted because it's still a technical feat in a lot of ways, much like all of David Cage's games are. It's just not as intriguing as it could be. And it's this problem that people have brought up, whereas like David Cage would be great if he just had a handler to wrangle him in whenever he got too far off of a good idea. And
I kind of wish he had a more grounded collaborator or something, like somebody on that team that was able to bring out his best ideas and kind of trim out some of the weirder, more outlandish, silly ones that just don't fit together at all. Like, someone to be like, no, let's not scramble up this timeline. Let's keep it linear. Like, we can build good dramatic momentum that way. So I don't know, somebody to fix that, because it's like he comes close every now and then to like, oh, that would have actually been a really interesting thing. But it kind of wasn't,
he comes close to genius and then throws his pants down, turns around and moons the audience and says, like, I'm great by doing so. That's what David Cage's problem is. Some
crazy quotes, too. Like, just like, we finally have enough polygons to render emotions or something. And it's just like, it's not like a technical hurdle. Like, you can elicit emotions from like 8 polygons or something, like, if you do it well. It's kind of all on writing. So yeah, like just some weird claims come from that guy, or like a weird viewpoint on what games need to be and where they should go. Like just like them kind of like going to film festivals and stuff and trying to kind of play that angle of like, no, we're being acknowledged by the film people. It's just like, who cares? Like, they're doing their own thing. They have no idea what's going on over here.
Like, dude, haven't you heard film has been around for a while? They don't need video games to further their medium. Like,
not really. Like, there
Yeah.
are dumb action movies that are kind of like derived from gamey type stuff, and like when that happens, I enjoy it. Like when I was watching Immortals, and there's a part of that movie that's basically like, oh, somebody played God of War. Like, there's just like heads exploding and like slow like slices and all this crap. I was just like, this is some video game shit. Like, this is like $150 million budget video game shit. That's kind of cool, but
Sure.
it's also incredibly dumb. Like, this is
Scott
dumb.
Pilgrim versus the World.
So much of that
That's
stuff,
some
yeah.
video game shit.
There's so much video game stuff, yeah, but I don't know. It's those worlds will kind of like, you know, people who like one will make something in the other and vice versa and whatever, and that'll be cool, but like one doesn't need to become the other, because like that would just get boring. So I don't know. There you go. What is the next question? We should move on.
Next question is from a tariff. If you could have your face pasted / photoshopped onto any pic of someone / something, who / what would that be?
What?
I'm going to say Jeff Gerstmann because we share a similar body type and it wouldn't be that much of a change. Actually,
Okay.
I think he's a little bit bigger than me, both width-wise and definitely height-wise. He's a good foot on me. Tall.
He's like
That guy's tall.
6'4" or something, yeah.
That dude's tall. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for it when we had burgers with him that one night at PAX. Or, like, with those guys. That dude is, like, a good head above me. So I wasn't prepared for that. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. My face has been photoshopped on a lot of things today alone by Necronoma Gamer.
Oh, yeah?
I think my favorite so far has been an older one. I like the Lionel Richie one that someone did. The Bob Ross one is kind of funny too. So I don't know. There's a couple on there, but what about you?
I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, who do I actually, like, fit the kind of look of or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't
David
really...
Cage?
David Cage, yeah, just giving a talk or something, just slap my head on there for no reason. We
Like
look
Will
nothing
Wright.
alike. Yeah, it's like someone no one would even recognize anyway, and it's just like, okay, who's that? Like, it's me, but it's not me. Like, it's like, what, are you supposed to take like, a famous photo or something? Like, it's just like that
that's what a
portrait of
Photoshop
Winston
is.
Churchill where he's kind of like sitting, he's got his cane or something, but it's just me.
I'm being told from the chat that Nathan should be Pikachu. Sorry.
Okay.
Burp there.
Yeah. I really like
Proton
that-
John was another suggestion from the chat.
There you go. Just kind of slap my face on there. You know Will Smith's portrait?
Which
Like,
Will
he's got-
Smith?
It's got the tested Will Smith.
Yeah,
He's got this really great
real Will
portrait shot. Yeah, it's like this really intense pose, and it's like almost like the Ernest Hemingway portrait kind of like look to it, like very intense but kind of awesome. Something like that. I wouldn't mind some sort of.
That doesn't count. You have to be photoshopping onto somebody else's body. Is the question?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like throw my face on what's like Ernest Hemingway's or something. Just like
on Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, on Ernest
Why
Hemingway.
not?
I want to just take that. Put. You know, why not? Right? There's one.
Yeah,
And,
here's a suggestion from the chat. They say the Fresh Prince guy ? So I think I should be Uncle Phil and you should be Will.
Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. There's
there's no racism there.
no potential for any dicey stuff at all with that. That's totally fine. Sitcoms are all one and the same. Kramer. Anyway.
You never watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Not much. Like, I've seen that theme song sometimes, so like I must have seen some episodes start up or finish or something and be like, oh, okay. Like, I don't remember ever like sitting down and watching a full episode of that show. So I missed out on a cultural touchstone for a lot of people, apparently.
That is where people like looked at some of the episodes of that show and were just like, oh, Will Smith is an actor. Like, he's not just a rap sitcom guy. Like, he can act. Because that dude like cries on cue in some parts, and there's some emotional parts, and
No,
I
I've
don't
seen
know.
people
It's-
like link some clips and stuff. It's like the moment in Fresh Prince where it like got real or whatever, and yeah, it's him getting really sad, and it's like, oh wow, okay, like
Those episodes are tough to watch, man. They
Yeah.
are. Some of them are tough to watch. They deal with some really serious shit.
is DJ Jazzy Jeff in the show?
Yes,
All right,
as his friend Jazz.
done. That show's
Yeah.
probably great. I don't know, like,
Necro just in the chat gave a good suggestion. Maybe a Biggie and Tupac thing. Whereas I would be Biggie, obviously, and you'd be Tupac.
oh god damn it, I don't.
You
like
would be like
Tupac very much.
California love. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't wanna be Tupac.
I don't know. I
just
think
don't like him very much.
I love Tupac more than Biggie.
What?
Myself.
Okay, I guess to be fair, like I've listened to an entire Biggie album like several times. I thought it was pretty good. I've never been drawn to Tupac stuff. Like I have some. It's just like I don't care about this. I don't know. Just the beats aren't what I'm doing what I want or something. I'm not
All
sure.
respect to those who break their neck to keep their hoes in check, because yo, they sweat a brother majorly, and I don't know why your girl keeps paging me. There you go. Some Pac. I get around.
I saw his
Sony
apology.
Music, probably. Owned. Anyways, should we go on to the next questions?
Yes.
Okay. This is where it gets a little bit weird. But I'm okay to answer these, I think.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I've had a few drinks, so I'm okay with everything right now.
Okay.
Junkie GS asks, how many naked men have you seen in your life and why?
See, a lot of that, I'm just like, well, I went to swimming pools and no one
That's
gives
the
a
thing
fuck
with me too. Yeah.
in the dressing room. So it's like probably a lot, but I can't put a number.
Just fucking like floppy wieners everywhere.
Yeah, like 50 plus dudes do not care. They're just like, whatever. I'm going to go to the shower. Wobble,
A lot.
wobble, like
That's my answer, is a lot.
Yeah. This is approximation of what that's like. And it's just like,
And honestly,
all right.
I've never even thought about it. Like, I don't honestly care. So I'm going to say a lot. That's my answer.
Yeah, like I couldn't even like put a accurate guess on the number. Dozens, maybe, probably.
Yeah, I'm going to say
like a
maybe
dozen
20.
each time you go to the pool. Maybe
I'm going to say maybe 20, like total.
Okay,
That probably
Total.
sounds like a fine number.
yeah.
Anyways, his
Yes.
next question is, when and how did you guys lose your virginity?
This one's a little more kind of sensitive, potentially.
Okay.
Uh,
Mine was at a party after drinking a lot, and I don't remember her name. So,
great.
I know, it was the classiest of moments. So, I apologize. I don't know if that even counts, because I barely remember it, but
That's a thing.
whiskey's a hell of an alcohol. It's hard to get it up after that. I'll tell you that. You
Mine
don't have
wasn't-
to answer if you don't want to.
Okay. It's just a little, yeah. Like I'd rather not elaborate. It was
For sure.
kind of later than a lot of people, but
For sure. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Religious
not like that's an
upbringing.
issue either. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. I
I-
went to a Catholic school too, so
I definitely got self-conscious about it at some point. Like, it was just like, oh man, I'm like super late to this party, but I'm just gonna blame like 20 years of totally not.
of indoctrination.
Yeah, like just like I
Yeah.
don't have any perception on this. So yeah, there you go. Sorry, Buzzkillin, not getting too divulgent.
Nope, that's fine.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like, people can ask us questions, but since we're the hosts, we can decide if we answer them. That's the
Yeah.
nice thing about being on this side. The
Control.
next question he asks is, are you upset with how your life is going? Why and how? I am, because I thought I'd be farther ahead, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm not overly upset because I keep waking up every day excited about the new challenge the day will bring. And when I say that to myself because I will kill myself if I don't believe that. So, things in general are going pretty good. I got a cat. The cat's great. I got a girlfriend who is my best friend, and every day waking up is a new adventure. So there you go. I am okay with the way my life is going. However, I always find that if you're complacent or happy with your position in life, then that leads you to not want to try for anything better. And that's not a good thing either. So never be happy. Always strive for more.
Yeah. I mean, other than my work situation, which, I mean, it's kind of just this like self-fulfilling prophecy thing where it's just like, I don't like my job, but I don't like looking for jobs. So I'm just going to put up with this job until I can't deal with it anymore. And then hopefully something will happen. Like, you know, whenever I get asked, like, what are you going to do with your degree or something? It's just like, I don't know. Like, I just want something to work out. Like, I just want somebody to, you know, eventually be like, you'd be perfect for this thing. And I know that doesn't sound like a thing that normally happens, but it sort of did with that janitor job. And I like that. So I'm just going to hope it works out on that front.
For sure.
In some way. So that component of it, I'm not that happy with. Oh yeah, I guess I was like television stuff. I'm pretty happy. I didn't talk about Sherlock. There's a new episode of that.
Let's talk about Sherlock quickly.
Yeah, just briefly. The BBC series Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman tearing it up as Watson and Sherlock, and it's pretty great. There's the new ones are out, season 3, and the way they do those is just like 90-minute movies essentially come out, and they're pretty well produced. And the next one's next Sunday, I think, like this coming Sunday, and then the next one's after that, and then that's it for season 3. You got 3 more movies. See you in a year and a half or something. Like, it's really weird the way they put those out. But
yeah, for sure.
It was, I don't know, it was good. It was like, I will say, more slow-mo than like any Zack Snyder movie, maybe. Like, it was just full of it. It was just packed to the gills with ridiculous slow motion. And I thought it was kind of funny, like the way they were doing it. Like, there were definitely some parts of it that were supposed to be jokey, but then like other parts were like kind of being cool. But it's like, what is going on? Like, this is so over the top of this style right now.
They don't know
like,
what they want, really.
Like, I'm gonna throw you this like knitted hat, and then it's gonna go in slow motion. Then he catches it. It's just like, what are you guys doing? It was like a fun watch though. Like, I had a good time. And like, it is a moment that is not a moment for like 99.98% of people who watch that show. But there is a point where there is a large explosive device in a train. Okay. Yeah. And Sherlock says, I don't know how to defuse a giant bomb. And I was so happy that he said that. Yeah. Because those last 2 words have special significance to me. And whatever.
Giant bomb.
Was like, exactly. I was just like, what the? This is so great. They figured out a way to put those words in a sentence where it totally makes sense to what the episode is. But for me, it's a Easter egg. I was really happy. So Sherlock season 3 kicking off really well. However, I will say, like, every season of that show, like, there's all of them that I've seen, the first episode's great. The second episode has almost nothing to do with anything else that's going on, and I don't ever like it very much. And then the third one's great. So I'm not super confident next week's episode's going to be amazing, but maybe they'll break the curse. Maybe it'll work out.
Maybe.
But yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. So there you go. One more media thing. What was it? What was the question though? Things in my life right now? Yeah, pretty much everything else is fine. I don't have a car right now, but I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm going to say, I never thought it growing up, because growing up, it was always the thing like, get the job, you get the money, you get the car, you get the bitches. Sort of. Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Not having a car is kind of okay. Like, it kind of sucks in some regards, because I can't just like on a whim be like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to go visit my best buddy Nathan right now and drive there in the snowstorm. Yeah, however, it's like, well, I'm just going to bus to work, and they know I'm going to bus, so they can deal with me being 10 minutes late because of it.
I know. It's kind of like, if I'm going to be grossly late, I'll just be like, buses, am I right? And it's fine. Like, I don't need to get much further beyond that. So,
sure.
Like, I don't care if I'm late for work very much, so whatever. And getting anywhere else, like, there are times where it's just like, I kind of wish I could go to Airdrie or something, because like I grew up around there, so maybe I want to see something or visit somebody in Okotoks. Like I have a bunch of friends in Okotoks. I haven't seen in a long time because I can't drive there anymore. And I would used to just like, all right, this Saturday I'm driving up there, eating a burrito, and then meeting my friends, and we will play You're in the Movies. That was like a thing we would do on some regularity.
That's great.
It was a great game to play that way because like it's just the dumbest thing ever. And yeah, I haven't been able to do that in a long time. So in that respect, not having a vehicle sucks. So yes, but that is not really a thing I'm like actively like next purchase is a car or something. I don't care about that very much. So
for sure.
Anyway, let's move on to the next query.
Next question, dick size question mark?
As I understand it, it is like the world average. So I'm fine. Look it up on Wikipedia.
6.5, I think.
Nice.
I don't know.
A little bit more than average.
I think that's average. I think
6,
that is.
I was told 6 is average. So
sure.
Maybe I was lied to.
But keep in mind, we are in Canada, so that wind chill affects everything.
This is an important query.
This is huge.
No, it's not. I thought 9 was huge because that's what
9 is really big
in the movies. That's what they talk about.
Really big, yes.
I know. That's like that I Spy Eddie Murphy movie. They joke about that. That is a terrible movie, by the way. But
I would not mind having 9. Honestly, a little bit to spare would not be a problem with me. However, just enough is quite all right with me. Let's leave it at that. Maybe
just enough. Okay,
just enough.
The questions. What are you gonna do?
Perfectly proportional. That's the answer.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Marshmallow asks, fuck, marry, kill. You get to fuck one person in the chat and marry one person in the chat. Everyone else gets killed. So I think that's for us choosing.
I think that's illegal for some people in our chat, so we really can't answer that question.
No, I'm going to go ahead and answer. I'm going to say fuck Meowth because I'm not gay. It's that simple. It's just that simple. Marry. I'm going to say marry Necronoma Gamer because of all his weird photoshops. I like those photoshops, and I think with those photoshops we could have a good life together.
No, that's not what I said.
That's not what she said. She was talking whatever. Chat. It was about 9 inches is huge. 6, whatever. Okay. What were you just saying? I got distracted by.
No, wait. What did you say? That's not what she said.
The chat is talking.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about it after, I guess. I'm not reading the chat right now. It's
sorry, audio listeners. So sorry. It was Meowth, who, and what was it?
No, everyone gets killed except for who we choose to fucking marry.
I know. So what did you?
I chose Meowth for that because she's a girl.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Okay. And Necronoma Gamer because of his badass photoshops of my face on Lionel Richie and random shit. So I think we could make a good life together.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Oh, those are the only 2, right? Because we're killing everybody else.
I know, which is terrible. I don't want to kill everyone.
Exactly. So based on that, like, I don't want, like, we want to save maximum people.
So we could say fuck everybody and marry one person.
Oh, there you go. So
okay.
There you go. Just giant pixel response party.
Orgy.
And everybody is saved. Because
this got so weird.
You know?
So weird.
The chat made it weird, so we just need to respond in kind. Yeah,
that is part of the name. The pixel responds.
Yeah.
So we have to respond to their query. And I think we responded greatly where we fuck everybody, because then that way everybody is saved. And honestly, I think it would be fun that way. It always
Not always.
evolves into this. It
doesn't.
always
This
happens.
is the most evolved it is. This is weird. Let's move on to the next question.
Onimetsu says Pixel Response Orgy, December 18th, 2014.
Why then? Week before
I have
Christmas?
no idea, but that's great. Just like
Okay.
some random day. And also Pro. Pixel Response Orgy. Pro.
Yeah. Great.
There you go. Okay, so that is it for the weird chat questions.
This
Let's go-
question is more for both of you guys.
Whoa, that's not it. Here we go.
Alright, so this is Cage Fight or Cage Fight Club. And it's Nick Cage versus somebody. Who do you think would win? And we're going to do this week Nick Cage versus Jack Nicholson. Bye.
Oh,
So,
well,
Nick
Jack
Cage
Nicholson's-
Fight Club.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson versus Nick Cage.
I would say Nick Cage would win, simply because
He's younger.
decades younger. And if you saw him in Ghost Rider, dude is like in shape too. Like dude is like, cut muscles, crazy.
Sure.
So yeah, he would totally win. I like Jack Nicholson, but not much. He's elderly at this point. Even in his prime, maybe not like a fighter. He was a good actor, but that's not really the same thing. So yeah, there you go. Nicolas Cage wins. Of course, if we're gonna have this segment, Nicolas Cage is probably gonna win most of these fights because I'm especially partial to Nicolas Cage.
Unless it's
But-
against somebody that's like, no, like this guy will literally just rip him in half.
Right, like it's just like, well, this guy is a trained black belt fighter or something. It's like, okay, well,
Like
yeah.
Nicolas Cage versus the Hulk or something. It's like
What's
maybe
the fictional
Nicolas Cage because
character?
he's real.
Yeah, see, I was just saying that he's a fictional character, so Nick Cage wins yet again. Then it's like, hey, Ghost Rider versus the Hulk, then you have a fight. But that's weird.
Oh,
That's more stuff.
the chat's getting a little bit involved. Marshmallow says Nick Cage. Necro says Nick Cage. Meow says Jack, and Eteref says Jack. He was the Joker, and he's badass. So we're split in the chat.
Are we pitting like some of their characters against each other, or just their actors? Because that's how it was pitched to me. It was just the actors. So I'm going to stand by my answer. I think that is.
I think I'm going to stand
how
by
I
it
go.
because I like Nick Cage a little bit more, even though Jack, I love that guy.
I wish
That's it.
Jack was. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of his films, so there's definitely some blind spots there. But it seemed like, especially recently, like dropped off a lot. There's not a lot of Jack Nicholson going on, which is kind of too bad. Like The Departed was kind of the last big one. So
Yeah.
anyway, what
Are you
voicemail
ready
time?
for Meowth Hour?
Mouth hour. Let's kick it off.
Wait, what is it? Half a girl, half a cat. Everyone knows that she's all that. It's Meowth. Meowth.
See, it rhymes.
That's me. Yeah.
And then
There you go.
pops up in the corner. That's me.
We gotta get her to send in a voice clip being like, that's me. And we'll just do like a little theme song or something.
I don't know if that's a great idea or a really bad idea, but we'll see. Well, the kind of in the same way you were saying, like we shouldn't have an intro song for Game Dudes because that would just get annoying and tedious.
Yeah.
It
Well,
would
I mean, nobody else has heard it, but our discussion was basically like how you put on a video and then like the first 30 seconds are like, he's a dude, he likes playing games, and he has opinions on them, sort of thing. It's like,
Yeah,
nobody
and it's
gives
like,
a shit.
all right, I'm just going to click a minute into this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I watched like the Angry Video Game Nerd one a lot, but
That intro is badass, though. That theme song is great.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Especially like in special episodes where they have like remixes or whatever that other people have done.
Or he'll show like
Especially,
different fan art in the intro and stuff, so there's like something new to look at a lot of the time. So
That makes me
Yeah.
happy. I am genuinely happy for that dude's success.
that dude worked for it too, though. Like there was that video of
He
like
works so hard for it.
him editing the segments and stuff. Like he put time and effort into that, and he's like, yeah, I respect that for sure. Some other personalities, not as much, but
For
it's
sure.
okay. Let's move on.
Okay. Anyways, on to Meowth Hour. Let's start off with the first voicemail from Meowth 900.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nathan. I remember telling this to Paul when he was streaming at such weird hours in the morning when I was intentionally up. So
Yeah.
I'll tell the story here, too, because he told me to. So, I remember Nathan was really mad at this movie called Wolf on Wall Street. So, well, I saw that movie, and it was a matinee show, so I thought all the stupid people would be not there at the movies yet. But apparently there was. So basically, I was just a regular person, just drinking my soda and eating some M&Ms, when I see people leaving, like, very steadily, like there were so many people, like, just leaving the theater. And at first I thought it was like them going to the bathroom, but they never came back. So, a little bit later, like 2 hours in, when the movie started getting really crazy, it got cut. And then I saw the manager, and then some police dudes were walking up the aisles, and I guess some people were, like, under arrest for public indecency. So that happened. Has anything like this ever happened to you when you were at the movie theaters, Nathan? Because I didn't have fun.
What?
Weird.
That's crazy. No, I'm trying to think. Like, no. Like, I mean, I've had a theater close because of a fire alarm.
Yeah,
never...
I think everyone here has. That's so annoying. I hate that.
It's just like, I'm trying to watch Dinosaur, and then the fire alarm went off, and now we're outside.
Mine was pitch perfect. I missed the last 10 minutes of it, and to this day, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you probably could have gotten a refund, but whatever.
We got vouchers for a free movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like, I've had actually, I did have, like, a drunk dude escorted out, but I've never had someone, like, presumably jacking it in the theater, or what was going on?
Public
Like,
indecency, so I guess no, they were fucking.
There's people fucking. There's people, like, at the movie theater.
Sure.
It's like, this is too hot and steaming right now. These businessmen getting their decadence on. Let's go.
These businessmen.
They're stockbrokers. It's weird. That's a weird kickoff.
Stockbrokers.
That's the movie. It's the film. That's the one. Anyway.
Just two stockbrokers in there, just like jerking each other off. To Wolf.
Oh, I meant the movie was about that, not like stockbrokers going and be like, oh yeah, power fantasy. This is what I want. But I could see that too, actually. That's kind of the thing. Like, that's where that movie isn't very clear on what it's getting at. So people could read it that way and get off on it. Just be like, this is what this is it. This was the time. And you're just like, no, these are cokeheads. Like, this is all wrong. It's like, I don't know. That's not what I'm seeing. Yeah, that movie has, like, how much thought and, like, riled upness that got me. Like, I kind of have to give props to it. Like, no movie this year has done that like that, you know? Like, I didn't love a movie as much as I was so angry at Wolf of Wall Street, you know? Like, it's like negative emotions. That's at least more emotions produced per minute of film than other stuff I saw this year. So,
than The Hobbit.
Yeah, sure. Like 2 hours and 43 minutes of like, yeah, it was a cool adventure versus like, oh, this is crazy. What's happening right now? Like, that's a reaction. So good job. You did it. I don't know. But, yeah, there's definitely a lot of conversation around that movie right now. I still have thoughts to process on it, and like I really want to speak to my friend who saw it and see what his take on it was, and kind of
Ryan.
Yeah, like I know he liked it, but I don't know what that means. Like I don't know if it's like because like in a way I can like appreciate things about it. So it's like, were you like yeah, or was it like no? That was a good movie about horrible people. So, you know, consider that accordingly or whatever. Like, I don't know where he fell on that, you know,
sure,
continuum. But yeah, conversations about that movie will continue for some time. So in a way, yeah, again, like the most talked about movie of the year, like that's a thing you could put on the poster. So
yeah,
that might be a quality. Anyway,
The supplementary question that was asked in the chat that I said we can't really talk about this until that voicemail was Meowth asked in the chat, have either of you done it in a movie theater?
Oh, no.
She's getting into it too. Like, I don't know. Chat's getting dirty tonight. Riding dirty, as it were. As a chameleon hair would call it. They see me rolling. They see us podcasting. They loving, want to catch us riding dirty. You know how it is.
Uh-huh.
Also, define it. Like, what does that mean?
What?
What does that mean? Have either of you done it in a movie theater? What's it?
Oh, like eating popcorn? Yes. All the time.
Like intercourse? No.
Intercourse? No.
No. Like, who would do that? Only a terrible person. Blowjob, yes. But not full of intercourse.
It's kind of great because, like, there's, like, talk of this very subject in, like, Martin Scorsese's The Departed. Like, Jack Nicholson's character says, who jacks in a movie theater? Is, like, talking about kind of some of the stuff of, like, you know, why would you go to a theater and do that? So
for sure.
But it sounds like this was more, you know, stuff. But there you go.
So I guess the general answer is no.
No, I haven't.
Like, yeah, no.
Oh, wait a second. No, I haven't. Yeah, sorry, that was not.
I love the wait a second there. I was just like, oh shit. Oh shit, son.
Oh no, technically that wasn't a movie theater. It was just flat no.
Technically it wasn't a movie theater. It was my apartment in my bed at night.
Yeah, it's just kind of a theater in a way.
Like I watch movies in it. If that's
like
what
near a home theater. Does that count?
Yeah, all I have to say is Duplex is a dull movie, so if you see it in a double feature with Jeepers Creepers 2, you kind of have to make your own fun. Anyway.
Duplex?
Yeah.
All right.
You know which movie I'm talking about then.
That's like that Ben Stiller movie?
Yeah, that's that Ben Stiller movie with like the slumlord.
Okay.
Was it Danny DeVito in there?
I think he directed it or something.
It was Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore, and I don't know who else is in it.
Okay, I almost want to say, like, maybe Danny DeVito directed it, because that is a thing he has done. But,
he might have.
Okay.
Anyways, Meowth's other question in the chat was, Nathan, have you played Pokemon yet? Will you ever play Pokemon, or will you just lie some more about being unable to find it? It sounds like you're going to borrow Platinum from me, so you will play Pokemon again eventually.
Yes. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play Gold because I haven't, like, not fake lost it. I actually lost it, which bums me out.
Sure.
Must have been in the move or something. I don't know. We had 2 copies for a while and sold one to a friend of Brittany's thinking that that was all good. Because I was like, whatever,
sure.
There's another one. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Look how that turned out.
It's
now
not the first time
that's
happened.
Shit
like,
from it.
There's been games that have disappeared for like quite a while. Like Super Mario Land, I bought a replacement copy and then eventually found my other copy. So now I have 2 of that game. Castlevania Double Pack, I have fully lost, and that bums me out because Area of Sorrow is a great game, and I wasn't done Harmony of Dissonance yet.
It's great. But, it's really good.
That was the thing where it's just like, well, I have the box, like it must be somewhere, and I don't know, it's gone. But yeah, games disappear sometimes.
Let's keep going with Meowth Hour here.
Okay.
So next question.
So lately, I've been watching this anime named Rurouni Kenshin, the Lone Samurai, I think it's called. Well, I know the guy's name is Kenshin, who is the guy with the red hair that's fluffy and it's in a ponytail. And I'm watching this, and I found the dubbed version, so now I'm just watching it in English. So, well, I know Nathan isn't a fan of anime, so I don't really want to ask him. Oh. But Paul, well, if you watch anime that's like mainstream, or not, I mean, because I don't know, you said you watch Attack on Titan, so I would figure you would watch some anime. but do you prefer Japanese with subtitles or English dubs? Because that is a real fandom to choose from. Personally, I prefer English dubs because I don't have to read, because I've been watching all this anime that's new, and it sucks because I have to listen to Japanese voices, and I have to read. No offense to Japanese, though, but sometimes those girls can sound really, really young, and I feel awkward for having those weird moments in anime where it's like naked girls and stuff. Ugh, so awkward.
I hear you, I guess. I mean, naked anime girls is kind of an awkward thing because half the time they're 14 years old in those goddamn things. So,
how did this notion that I don't like anime ever happen?
Well, you're on record of saying this.
Now I know what you're saying. Anime's for jerks.
So obviously,
that's not my voice. That's like an inside GameSpot joke for.
But anyways.
Okay.
Now I know what you're saying. Anime's for jerks.
So anime's for jerks. However, Attack on Titan was kind of a different thing because I loved the art style of it, and it didn't do a whole lot of the things anime does that I hate, which is like the naked 14-year-old girls or the crazy weird shit that nobody should care about ever, that Japanese people think is like intriguing film or something. But I don't know. If I find the right anime and I get into it, I will watch all of it as much as I can. The problem is a lot of it is too stereotypical for me, and I get kind of bored of it because there's a lot of filler and a lot of trash to go through. I mean, to answer your question directly, I like dubs better for the same reason, where I can just kind of like have it on my second monitor and play Spelunky or something. But for the most part, if I'm just sitting down and watching anime, I do prefer the subtitles because I feel it's more accurate. What about you?
Yeah, I prefer subtitles with mine too. Like when we were watching Evangelion, it was all Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah,
and I guess it's just because like, as far as like, if that's as close as I can get to like what the writers of the show meant to say. Whereas once you get to dubs, I get like, I'm like, it's getting a little dicey. Like I don't know if that was like just a bad line or that was kind of a lazy line that the dub team threw together for this release or whatever. Like I want this to be as pure as I can get it without actually knowing Japanese.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, like mostly.
What did you
I guess
think of Sailor Moon? Sailor Moon was like the North America's first real anime back when we were younger.
I know Brittany was into it quite a bit, Sailor Moon.
Yep.
But I never really watched it much. That was a show that would be like on
Fighting Evil by Moonlight, Winning Love by Daylight, Never Running from a Real Fight. She is the one. Name.
Mm-hmm. There
Sailor
you go. That would be like I'm gonna watch The Simpsons or something, and I'd be like, oh, this is on YTV or something, and it's like, oh, okay. Like I never sat down and watched a lot of it. Same with Dragon Ball. Like I have no real knowledge of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, for sure. Me neither.
Like
I have a friend that's super into Dragon Ball, though.
Sorry?
I do have a friend that was super into Dragon Ball. In fact, people might know him as one of the four idiots, Mark Dumais, MD7.
Oh, okay.
He's super into
Sean
Dragon Ball.
Was way into Dragon Ball. But or
Sean's into anime in general, though. Like into animation.
Yeah, yes. So I guess that's fair to say. I haven't seen a series in a while. Like we were watching Evangelion, but it's kind of just this weird thing where it's like Netflix and streaming services and YouTube are so much more convenient that it's just like, we got to pop in another disc.
Yeah.
Forget it. We'll just watch another episode of this or whatever. Like it's like easy to get sidetracked because it's not that quick to just pull up or whatever. Like oddly, the times when we're most often watching like physical media is it's like, well, I really want to download this game, so let's not mess with the internet right now. Let's just watch a DVD.
Sure.
So it's like, let's watch, what was the last one where that pretty much happened? What was it? Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights or Tron Legacy?
Yeah, Tron Legacy and Boogie Nights we watched on discs that I own. Like, I have this big DVD collection here that is kind of getting more and more useless, but I collected it, so I might as well keep it. I don't know.
Yeah. Mine is in boxes, and I'm waiting for the day to just buy a 2 terabyte hard drive and rip it all to that hard drive as a media library.
Can you get the commentaries and stuff, though?
You can rip the whole ISO to it.
Okay. Then that is acceptable.
Yeah, but that'll take a long time.
It apparently takes a long time, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that probably answers the question, right?
Yeah.
More importantly, just to reiterate
now I know what you're saying. Animes for jerks.
Okay, so next question.
So lately I've been watching this anime named Rurouni Kenshin, the Lone Samurai, I think it's called.
This is the same question.
This question is more for both of you guys. So I got into an argument with a friend recently over which blockbuster movie was better. Which was between Catching Fire and Desolation of Smaug. I said Smaug was better because of that dragon. But my friend said Catching Fire was better because it didn't have the dragon. So,
what?
I want to know your guys' opinion.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know what that means.
Which movie did you think was better? Hunger Games or The Hobbit?
How was something better for
and
not having
I say
a dragon?
The Hobbit. And the second question is, after January and February, which is just sappy romance movie months, as I call them, what movies will you plan to see in March, April, or May? I know I want to see The Muppets Most Wanted because it's The Muppets. I still like The Muppets even though I'm old. I don't really care. 18-year-old can go see rated G movies if it involves monster puppets.
An 18-year-old could go see a rated G movie if it involves monster puppets. This is the best quote of the year.
Monster. Yeah. 2014 quote of the year so far. Just because, yeah.
How is it doesn't have a dragon? How is that an argument for a movie? That is the argument against the movie. It's like, well, it was good, but it didn't have a dragon. You don't say, well, it didn't have a dragon, so it's better. Like, what?
I guess if you
of course,
don't like
Desolation
dragons,
of Smaug is better. Whoever doesn't like dragons is a jerk off.
Kind of,
straight up.
I mean, they're missing out on a lot of great, important cinema, like Dragonheart with Sean Connery and Dennis Quaid. Timeless classic.
That movie
from the 90s.
Is great.
I kind of really genuinely
Rain of Fire.
Like that movie. Yeah,
Rain of Fire is probably the best movie Christian Bale has ever done.
There's not enough dragons in that movie. Like for a movie,
I agree with you. However, there is enough that it makes it better than everything else that he has ever done.
American Hustle's pretty good, but okay.
You're right. It is pretty good.
I guess I felt this kind of got miscommunicated last time. I actually haven't seen Catching Fire. I saw the first Hunger Games and didn't have an interest in seeing the second one.
Because it's Battle Royale.
Yeah. Battle Royale 2
yeah.
wasn't very good from what I'm told, so I just, no. I don't know. I just was like in a bit of a funk at that point. I was just like, I just don't care. Like, yeah, it's the big thing right now. I don't want to go see it. And it's like, it's supposed to be great.
I'm being corrected in the chat because I apparently don't understand people when they send in voicemails because I'm a moron. They said dragging. She said dragging, not dragon. So games did have dragging. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense because if someone says, well, Hunger Games didn't have a dragon, like that person should just probably be killed because they're useless. But
for
dragging,
being like happy about that.
Yeah, I do agree, actually. Like, if Hunger Games didn't have as much weird, like, kind of nonsense for no reason, whereas The Hobbit is 3 movies for 300 pages, like, listen, people, that's like 5 chapters per movie. That's fucking insane for the same company and, like, people that did 3 giant-ass books in 3 movies and still had to do extra content. The fact that they're stretching this shit out is absolutely ridiculous. So maybe the fact that they didn't like how dragged on The Hobbit was when you could do that whole movie. And maybe like 1, maybe 2 movies if you wanted to drag it a little bit to give more emphasis on some stuff that the book didn't, like Bard, like we discussed before, that makes a little bit more sense. However, like 3 movies, maybe your friend has a point in that regard, I guess. But I haven't read any of the Hunger Games books. I will never read any of the Hunger Games books. So as far as I'm concerned, the fact that I have to watch 3 movies of something that I watched a long time ago from Japan, that's dragging to me. There's already one Battle Royale movie.
I think they're splitting book 3 into 2 movies because that's what they
Ridiculous.
do now. That's what Lionsgate is all about. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't mind that first one. So there's a possibility I will actually quite like...
you didn't mind the first what?
The Hunger Games movie. But
I didn't either, because I kind of like seeing like a teenage chick as a badass.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So there was stuff to appreciate in there, but yeah, I guess so. I don't really have a point of comparison. I thought Hobbit was pretty good though. And yeah, there's a dragon. So yeah, maybe I kind of wish that dragon got to do a little more stuff right at the end there. Which he will next year, but yeah, splitting stuff up kind of drags things out.
As for stuff, though, that the dragon already does way more than he did in the book, which is a great thing.
That gold, it's like, oh, what? Yeah, exploding gold just gets all over you. Watch out!
I hate it when gold explodes all over me.
I know.
It's a common problem.
As for movies from next year that I'm looking for, I mean, I want to see Her, but that is technically a 2012 release, I think, or 2013 release, because festival circuit or whatever. Like, I think it's up for nominations or whatever, but that finally comes here January 10th. There was The Wind Rises, Miyazaki's new movie, comes here in February, I guess. So, speaking of anime, that might be interesting.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to see it, but I don't mind really dumb disaster movies.
I agree with you.
Paul W.S. Anderson has provided some thrills in his career, so Pompeii might be watchable.
I love Dante's Peak and Volcano, even though they were the same year and the same movie, essentially.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I don't know.
Deep
Slim
Impact,
chance that'll be
Armageddon.
Yeah, I know. Disaster pairings.
Anaconda. Anaconda's just a great movie. I felt like it deserved being said. So
yeah, that great disaster movie.
I just kind of take movies as they come. If I think it's interesting.
How do you feel about RoboCop? Are you at all interested in the new take?
So when we went to see Desolation of Smaug, there was a trailer commercial advertisement sort of thing for RoboCop. And they're like, we interviewed a bunch of people as soon as they saw it. And they said RoboCop is badass. And people are like, oh, it's so much better. And, oh, I love the new RoboCop. It's so cool. And stuff like that. And I was just like, really? Like, what could be so good about a PG-13 movie that was originally a great satire on the current state of everything bad in America, set in a new Chicago? What could be so good about that set in a PG world where nobody gives a shit and everything's just kind of cool looking?
It's Detroit, but
Detroit, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it being PG-13 is kind of just a total interest went from like 12% to 0 again. Like, it's just like, oh, you fucked up.
Yeah, like, already I haven't seen it and I know you messed up. So
yeah, like, it's like Dread was hard R and I was like, oh, this could be good, and I was happy with it. This
it was like so good
in like just the wrong direction. And the black suit thing, I didn't like that from the first time they showed it. They're just like, we have this, new, cool, fresh thing. And it's just like, that just looks like the guy from Crisis. Like, I don't want to see that.
Sure.
So I am pretty apprehensive about that movie. It just seems like a movie that is like being actively marketed at like my exact demographic, like nerds.
Well, it's being actively marketed to people without a fucking brain.
I guess.
There's that.
But,
or like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it just seems like a sci-fi thing that would be kind of pitched at people like me. And I'm a little
annoyed at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it when things are marketed towards me. That's the worst.
Honestly, the movie next year in that first quarter of the year that we were talking about, that I'm like most convinced will be like in some way or another a kind of jaw-dropping spectacle worthy of seeing. Darren Aronofsky's Noah comes out, and it looks
really
nuts. Like it's just like this is like a huge budget biblical epic in 2013. Russell Crowe is Noah, and Emma Watson is one of his like son's wives or something. Like, it's just like weird people are in it, and it just looks like I don't know. That guy makes weird movies with some kind of clear vision. I don't always love it, but I'm sure that'll be something to see. So I actively want to see that movie. Like, yeah, Noah, March 28th. Check it out. It'll be something. If you like Black Swan, this has nothing to do with that at all. But the same guy.
No, but I did like that movie.
Yeah, it was good. And that was
it's not a movie that's
success.
It's not a movie that's easy to watch because it leaves you with kind of an uneasy feeling at the end. But
it's kind of a weird, dark, like that's a trip. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing that guy's next movie. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
This question is more for both of you guys.
Okay.
So I got into an argument with a friend recently over which.
Never mind. That's the wrong one. I'm
Rest
sorry. Here
in
we go.
peace, James Avery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, since this James Avery, which media show did you like him best in?
Fresh Prince.
I know lots of people liked him when he was Uncle Phil in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Mm-hmm.
But I say he was the best in my mind as the original Shredder on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, I want to ask, what was your favorite role of Mr. James Avery? I still say he was the best enemy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rest in peace, Shredder. You will be missed.
Was he in that? I honestly don't even know if that's true.
I'm gonna check.
Okay, you check.
He does. He apparently right up front does do voice acting because he's credited in Prince of Egypt. Remember that movie?
No, but yes,
dude. The like Moses and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just scroll through here.
It was Uncle Phil. He was
okay.
He was the hard ass that Will Smith needed in his life to keep him straight with a heart of gold. Every time Will and Uncle Phil were together on screen, it ended up in either laughter or tears. He was the reason why, as a young black man living up in West Philadelphia, born and raised, I grew up living most of my days very, very happy.
Yeah, he was totally Shredder in that era.
I had no idea. That's so cool.
Like, I'm going to say prolific voice actor. Like, I was seeing credits on Real Ghostbusters and stuff. So, dude was in some cartoons.
I still don't care. He was Uncle Phil. He will always be Uncle Phil. So, rest in peace. That heart attack finally got the best of him.
Whereas I'm going to say probably the most...
Will kept sneaking him those cheeseburgers. And he felt really bad about it when he had that cardiac arrest in that one episode. But... he kept eating those fucking cheeseburgers, man. Like, what can we do about it? I God damn you, James Avery.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. But no, seriously.
Okay.
Pour
Dude,
one out.
He played Scar in the animated storybook version of Lion King. So,
yeah.
There you go. Never forget.
Be prepared.
Sorry, I'm learning a bunch about
James. That wasn't him in that movie.
All right. I'm going to say Shredder too, then. I'm going to go with that because that was a formative show for me.
Was it?
Yeah, I watched that show a lot when I was a kid. I have season 5 on DVD because it was like in a pizza box, and I was like, oh, I got to buy that. So, decisions.
I feel really shitty now. 2013 was a piece of shit, and I'm glad to see it go.
Yeah. It's 2014.
Unfortunately, right before it had to go, it had to take away Uncle Phil.
One last beloved icon.
He was an uncle to all of us, black or white. He was the reason why there is no more segregation in public schools.
Yep, that was him.
You can put that on his fucking tombstone. Erase segregation from America. Uncle Phil, 1983 to 2013. He's way older than that. 1965.
30 years old. Is just amazing actor too. Like just he pretended to
1948, 2013. Erased segregation from America. Uncle Phil, rest in peace, sweet Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah,
he was the actual Prince of Bel Air. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I am so sorry.
You're pretty sauced right now. It sounds like
a little bit. I apologize to everybody. Oh. Anyways, that does it for Meowth Hour. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you want to send in questions, comments, emails, first of all, best way might be to join us in the live show so you can talk about Animal Crossing, sex dungeons, and all that sort of thing with everyone else. However, if you want to do it a more private and anonymous way, this is probably how you should do it.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
It's that simple. There is no fucking excuse why you can't send in a voicemail and be like, yo, pour one out for Uncle Phil, and I'll be like, word, and start crying into my drink here. But you can send in other stuff too. I mean, there were some weird ass questions tonight. There was something going in the water. Like if our chat room was like a bar, there was something that came out of the faucet that was a little bit weird tonight for those people. Because
it's not a full moon, so yeah.
Nothing but sex and death on the brain tonight for them.
Friday night, New Year, it's party season.
2014, the year of orgies? PRO, Pixel Response Orgy, coming December 18th, apparently, 2014. Look forward to that, probably in Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of the orgy.
Yeah, and then we'll go see the third Hobbit movie. Just cap it off.
Yeah, probably. And then maybe Tom Jones. You do a Tom Jones impression in one of the Game Dudes episodes.
What? Like, it's not unusual or something? What do I try to do?
No, that's exactly what it is. But it sounds like a drunk Elvis. It doesn't sound like Tom Jones at all.
Well, stay tuned to Game Dudes for that, I guess. Thanks again for watching those.
And
more coming.
We like doing them. I like doing them.
Yeah, I like playing video games, so if someone's going to record it, sure. Works for me. I got this microphone.
Glowing endorsement from Krasnor G. If somebody... I like playing video games. If someone wants to record it, sure.
Yeah.
That's what Game Dudes is all about. If somebody wants to record it, then why not?
Why not? Shrug.
Exactly. Anyways, I think... Like, any closing thoughts? I think that'll do it for us this week. But
yeah, that's honestly Cook Serve Delicious in stores now. Check it out, everybody. Game of the season.
Game of the year?
Maybe. And see you guys on Steam for game night sometime. Payday 2.
Game nights. Pixel-response.com/game-night. We'll be doing more about that, but we'll see you guys later.